Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another one of these. How are you? I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing the things you love. I bet you thought you were done with me today after 2 hours of waffle this morning. Well, we're not done. We're not done. There's more coming out tonight. And I don't know about these ones. I don't know. It's a mixture of different ITKs throwing out one name specifically, that Pedro Neto, ex-Wolves, and now Chelsea, current Chelsea fame, Mr. Hamstrings himself. The Tottenham have put in a verbal bid for the right winger. Look, I'll be honest, his stats are sensational. I was looking up his stats. I was really surprised by how good they look relative to other wingers. They look fantastic. For me, though, don't really feel like he's, I don't know, tale of two cities kind of thing. I feel like his eye test, back to the eye test, we spent all morning talking about the eye test thing. For me personally, I'm not blown away by Pedro Neto, but his stats do look sensational. They do. And so we have to talk about it. Plus, we've got stories out around Jean-Matteo Berghvall, the Frankfurt winger, 21-year-old, interesting style, interesting player. Lots of links with him tonight to Tottenham as well from a load of the ITKs. And more of an important one in the short term is some what I think is really disappointing and a lot concerning news, that we are ripping up our entire youth academy, and that Will Lankshear is in advanced talks with Middlesbrough tonight. I've got Hugo in the background to come in and have a chinwag with me about it. Before we get into it, guys, do smash the like button for me on the video like you always do. You take the need for me to ask out of the equation, because you always just help me out. Your like game is incroyable, and we're very, very grateful. It's so important. It really does help. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to participate in the Chiddly Chit Chat, then all you got to do is smash the subby button. You know, pretty easy to do. Hit the notification button if you haven't already as well. Let you know when we're dropping content, because we drop content at any particular point in time. You just never know. You don't know. And do drop your comments. Let me know your thoughts on today's topic. We are, of course, sponsored by OK Jersey. Code Sean10 gets 10% off all of your latest and greatest and your retro gear, your Jeremy Jacquets, your Clobber, and everything else. So go over to okjersey.com and get yourself 10% off using code Sean10. Sean10, Sean10. Also, don't forget, the biggest push in the Butler space this summer and going forward is, of course, your one-stop fan community shop. We're up to 1,750 signed up members now. It's growing every single day. Amazing support from you guys. Really are very grateful for all of your time over there. And you can find all of your latest and greatest upcoming content creators over there in the podcast world and in the video world. Plus, of course, you've got everything else, all the games, your data tools, your predictions. I've got to finish the predictions. The World Cup predictor. I don't know who won. I haven't run the final report to see who won it. Well, maybe we'll do that live. Maybe we'll do it live. But anyway, smash the granny out of all the things above. Let's bring Hugo in, see how he's doing. Hugo, how are you, man? Good to see you.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm just a little bit surprised by tonight's news. There's a lot going on this evening out of nowhere. In the space of like 15 minutes, loads of things dropped regarding... And there's also, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you, but I got a little message from someone as well. And again, I'm never claiming ITK, but someone that we all know very well messaged me saying that someone that he knows is saying that who messaged him saying that Tottenham are really going for some monster names in the forward line. Like we're not hanging about. We also got to talk about Yan Diomande. That story was out today. I mean, that's a rat-a-tata. I don't think it will happen in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, he's 8%. He's 8%. One of your fellow patrons, isn't he?
Exactly, man. I can say exactly what I want because I've got the 8% card. I got the permission. I got the gene permission.
Got the slip ready to go.
Yeah. What's going on? What is that you're drinking?
Oh, it's that
strawberry watermelon. Simple. Is that full of sugar or is it quite nice? It looks healthy, but is it?
No, it's all right. No artificial colours, no artificial flavors. Yeah,
they all say that.
Completely full of everything else that's not natural, probably.
Yeah.
But happy days, eh? If it ain't,
I reckon what they've done is they've just changed the word artificial to something else.
Yeah.
And so it's the same shit. They just go, well, it's not artificial. It's now smartificial.
But if it's not killing you, what are we doing here?
Exactly. Only the things that kill. If I'm not doing the things that kill me, mate, I never feel alive.
You just got to suck a little bit of joy out of life sometimes.
Exactly.
For everything else,
suck a few seconds
Tottenham
off your clock. Yeah, listen. Let's start with Will Lankshear, mate. Let's start with Will Lankshear. Big up to everyone on the Chiddly Chit Chat. Will Lankshear leaving to Middlesbrough. Advanced talks from Ali Gold. We were having this conversation a couple of days ago, Hugo.
Yeah,
and we were talking about the kind of abdication of any cares towards the youth team. And I was saying that there's a problem that's going to emerge if we get back into Europe. There'll be no homegrown. There'll be no association trained. People go, no, you still have Will Lankshear. Well, probably not.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean, he's the one guy in our forward line in our youth academy that I actually think has got something about him. I think his movement is classy. I think he's very intelligent, and I think half the battle with strikers is knowing where to
having that instinct.
Yeah,
like the natural fox in a box.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't say what we're going to get for him. I would imagine it would be maybe, certainly over 10, 15 million. Obviously, there's a price at which you always say, 100%. But people on like Twitter saying, don't worry, we'll have the buyback and the 20% sell on.
Well, someone here in the chat saying he wouldn't have been club trained anyway. Is that right?
Would he not? How long's he been? How old is he now, Will Lankshear? He certainly would be homegrown. Will Lankshear is 21 now. When did he come to the football club?
Good question. Don't know.
Let's have a look. He arrived at the football club. Hang about. He arrived at the football club in 2020. Yeah, he would have been. He arrived in 2022. So he's been here 3 years. He's been in out. He might have been out on loan a lot, but he's been on that. I think that the loan thing doesn't matter, does it? I think he would have counted. I'm pretty sure he would have counted. But then I'm not an expert in these bloody rules. They're confusing to me. Either way, do you support this sale? And if so, at what price point?
It completely depends on. I mean, let's start with this: the big names that your friend of a friend was throwing around. Are they all players off the continent, or are any of them domestic?
Hang a second. No, all I'm being told is that high level, not fucking around, straight, like the level that's straight into the first team. If they get the people they're after, it will be very, very good.
But no indication as to whether they're English or foreign or anything else.
No details, no specifics. So it could be like listen, I don't know. The guy who knows a thing or two about a thing. Or is it Himothy Bomber? There's a Himothy Bomber. Oh, the Bomber. Wow, there's always bombers when we go live.
Dun dun dun.
What's he said now? Which one is it? Hang about.
The Lankshear one that says he's 100% leaving.
No, understand that Tottenham have offered Christian Romero to Chelsea. What the fuck?
Right, he can get.
And the player is keen on the move.
Do you think he'll get loaned out to Strasbourg?
Oh, Rombom! Fuck off! Get out of my club, you dirty little git! Get out! This is madness. What do you make of that one?
Oh, it'd be all right if they loan him to Strasbourg.
Oh, we would do a straight swap. Pedro Neto for Christian Romero. What is going on?
I mean, we'd probably do it, wouldn't we?
Well... I mean, can you imagine?
What's Neto's market value?
Well, he went for 60 million. He went for 60 million to Chelsea a couple of years ago, didn't he? He was a top player at Wolves, but his hamstrings, they made a cheese.
Yeah, no, right? It's like hamstrings. He's Yeah, not his strong point.
This is a wild evening, bro. This is wild.
Do you know what? I'd do that though. I would totally swap like for like, just direct swap Neto for Romero. I'd do it. Mate.
Enzo is a big reason. Who's Timothy Priv? They've all got their private ones now. Apparently, I'm already a member of it. Apparently, I've already signed up. Interesting. Is that Timothy? Yeah, Timothy reports. And by the way, Timothy got the thumbs up earlier from who was that guy? It was from the journalist who said about the Brighton assistant coach.
Okay, yeah.
Busy. Oh, Sammy Mockbell. There you go. Sammy Mockbell gave Timothy the thumbs up for because Timothy was the first one to call this one yesterday. That Tottenham set to add Brighton assistant coach Andrew Crofts to the Zerbi's backroom team ahead of new season. Excuse me. So I don't know anything about Andrew Crofts, so I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I do. But it'd be interesting to see. Brighton are a good, I don't know if he was the same guy that was there when De Zerbi was there. I haven't looked into it, to be honest. But this is mental, mate. Tottenham, and even Poseidon, Spurs Journo saying Tottenham interest in Pedro Neto is long-standing and genuine. Discussions with Chelsea are not yet advanced. One of several dynamic attacking options being considered as Spurs look to add up to 3 forwards in the window. Jean Mateo Bahoya also a name being considered. And then there's this other one that says that this is not Pedro Neto. There you go. This is the thing. He dropped it earlier. Understand that Tottenham sent a verbal bid to Chelsea for Pedro Neto. Understand Neto is in addition to Savinho. So Pedro Neto plays as a right wing.
So what's he going to be competing with Kudus, is he?
Yeah. But here's the stats on we pop over to the old Spurs hub. So he played 34 games as a right winger, 2 games as an inside forward. He played a few minutes as a midfielder as well. Not a huge amount. He played 5 starts. 5 starts out of 6 games. 5 actual starts. But look at his stats. His stats are actually fucking impressive, to be entirely honest, right? Completely.
When he's fit, mate, he's legit. It's the minor thing of keeping him fit, which, given Spurs' injury record, may or may not be a consideration.
Yeah. Can you see that on the screen? Did I just hear someone come into the background, by the way? Did I just hear someone? Who come in? Oh, look who it is! It's donut number 2! Hello, James!
Oh, there he is.
Hello, mate.
How are we?
Good. We got the Lomba Neto, Pedro Lomba Neto. What are we saying? We haven't got him. What are we saying about that?
I don't want him.
No?
Nah, not really. I don't think he's much better than what we've got when he's available. He could be decent, but what's the point? Guy's injured all of the time. Genuinely, like all of the time. It's pointless. We've got enough injuries at the club to be taking on more.
How many minutes did he play last season? Let's have a look.
13.
No, he played. How many minutes did he get last season? He
Prove me wrong now. He played like 38 games.
Well, no, he had 42 appearances last season. 42. He had 34 games. That's obviously across all competitions. 34 games as a right winger. I don't know how many minutes he played. Let me have a look. Let me see if I can find. I must be able to find it on here somewhere. How many minutes did he play last season? All metrics. Can I see it? A lot of green bars though. Green bars good. 27 minutes. 2,700 minutes he played last season. That's a lot.
You did
to this anyway. So you know,
I don't remember him playing much, or he must have not done nothing very good. I don't remember him playing much at all.
No, he was injured a hell of a lot when he was at Wolves. He had the hamstrings thing, but he obviously played a lot last year. He must have played a lot last year.
Well, yeah, must have, yeah.
I know. Like his stats are phenomenal. I'm kind of with you though. Like I feel like when he went to Wolves, when he went to Chelsea, everyone wanted a slice of him, and everyone was like, "Oh God, they've got a great player there." But then like Chelsea weren't clearly that happy with him because they ended up going and buying about 3 other forwards, didn't they? They bought Garnacho, they bought João Pedro, they bought a lot of players in since. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird that that everyone seems to be a little bit off on this one. You know,
I mean, I guess if you're looking at building a squad, like a genuine quality squad, where he's not going to be running on, like fumes because he's being run into the ground because he's sharing time with Kudus, who himself was injured several times, this last season because he was being run on half empty. Then maybe that's not a bad consideration, to like split the time. They're both quality. Like he's compared to what we'd have sitting behind Kudus, I think he's infinitely better than that, right? So if he's available for the right money, or if it's a direct swap with Romero, frankly, then happy days, way I see it. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like
I just feel like out of everybody that we could take from Chelsea, I think that's so underwhelming. And maybe that's a bit harsh, but the lap, I'd even say to I don't think we get him, but Palmer, I'd say, look, you ain't going to get minutes. Rodgers is there. I don't know. Like, out of everybody that I would want, he wouldn't be like, right, yeah, I want him from Chelsea. And that might be naivety, to be fair, because at Wolves he was fantastic.
I mean,
they're not about to let go of Palmer, though, are they?
Is he not? Is he not the alternative profile? Like, is he not like if we're looking at people like Savinho on the left that can do the winger stuff, and then people are making the argument, and Kudus can do the winger stuff on the right hand side, but there's not a lot of output there. Is he not the output alternative? It looks like he is.
He's class. His class. The only question mark about him has been his injury record,
and he hasn't really had any the last couple of years since he went to Chelsea. I don't believe. I know he had him at Wolves, but like, look at the stats that he's in the top 100% of. Forget about all these like really nuanced ones, like attacking half space received in the 360 metric, but just like deep progressions, 99th percentile, final third passes, 99th percentile, positive outcomes. From a positive outcome is a sequence that the player is involved in that ended positively, and positively means a free kick, a shot on goal, or a corner kick. 99th percentile, assists, 98th percentile. I think key passes, 96th percentile. Carries, 96th percentile. Like, statistically, again, though, I'm very much aware, I'm very much cognizant of the fact that if you look at on Twitter and in the chat here, everyone seems to be like, what are we fucking doing? Look at that gif. I don't know, though. I'm just thinking, like...
That's Team America quality.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, well, I don't think that's... I think that's... Maybe the stats are telling a different story to the eye test thing. I don't know. For me, though, I'm finding this one, like, makes a bit of sense, right? If he's going to be a right winger to compete with Kudus, you've got 2 different styles of player there, no?
What GA did he get last season?
He scored 10 goals, apparently.
Big up to you, Eugene. Did I bring Eugene in? Not yet. Here you go. Eugene's coming in for a chilly chit chat as well. Pedro Neto last season got well, in 100 appearances for Chelsea, he got 20 goals and 20 assists, or 19 and 19. Let me have a look at the 25-26 season. He got 5 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League, 4 goals and 2 assists in the FA Cup. So he got 10 and 10. He got 20 GA last season across all comps. Spread him around. The Champions League, he got 6 assists.
Yeah. So he got 10 GA in the Prem in how many games?
11 GA in 34 games, so 1 in every 3, which isn't bad for a winger, is it?
No, it's not bad. I don't know why there. I don't know why I feel underwhelmed. Maybe it's just me. I don't know why. There's no valid reason.
How old is Neto?
25? 26. Yeah, I'm surprised by the reaction. I feel like
I think that's because
pony.
people tend to ignore the stats and just remember the fact that he, has been cropped more times than people can remember.
Eugene, first reaction, and how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I don't think there are any legs to this. It just doesn't make sense. To me,
There's any what to this? Legs to it?
Yeah, just he's a decent player. Injury history. Until last season, he was injured on regular basis. No real output. I mean, he's better than
real
what we
output.
have, but honestly, for 50 million, again, we need goals. He doesn't offer goals. He's a worse version.
He does offer goals. He got 10 goals last year.
In how
as
many?
A winner.
In how many games? 35 all comps.
All comps about 45, I think. Something
45.
Like that,
yeah. I've never been impressed.
52 total games. 52 total games, but then 4 appearances were in the League Cup where he only played 148 minutes. So he got like a GA.
Oh, it's hard to say though, unless you know who they played, because they could have played bottom of the League One or something, couldn't they? And he could have. I mean, that's hard. That's why I kind of asked about the Prem. But the Prem, 1 in 3.5 games or whatever it was, that's not too bad anyway.
I'll tell you. We got the stats. He got a hat trick. He got a hat trick against Hull in the 4th round. He got a goal against Charlton. He got an assist against Port Vale and an assist against Leeds.
Yeah, so they don't really count, do they?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Chelsea had a decent run, didn't they? And in the EFL Cup, he got a goal against Cardiff and an assist against Arsenal in the semi-final. And in the league, he got a goal against West Ham, a goal against Forest, a goal against Wolves, Burnley. Okay, so mainly bottom half teams, all bottom half teams.
He's
and then
never
assist-wise, Forest, Sunderland, Everton, Burnley.
Not to ruin it for people, but I mean, technically, we're a bottom half team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to improve, you don't take other teams' rejects, right? Chelsea is 10th? They're trying to improve and offload their draws, and we're gonna pick it up if we want to improve.
I guess that depends on whether we're doing a swap deal or not.
Yeah, but either way, like if we're trying to improve, I don't want other teams' rejects who we're chasing. And like, he's not a bad player, but again, his injury history is pretty bad. He's been hurt until last season on a regular basis. He doesn't do it for me. I mean, I would take him over Tel. But
if they're talking, that's what I was just about to say. If you're kind of talking of him and Savio coming in, I mean, this could be kind of a distraction to kind of get Savio on board or make him hurry up or whatever. But if someone like this comes in, surely that ends Odegaard, Tells, those kind of players that are there or thereabouts. You'd think if you're going to bring in 2 or 3 kind of wingers, it means the rest are gonna go, right?
I would take Pedro Neto. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm with you, James. And there's a part of me that feels a little bit like, don't know. But the more I'm sitting here, maybe it's because just looking at the stats. Big up to you, Adam, for coming in. And also, I've just finally had my first vodka of the day. Well, I'm halfway through the first glass, and suddenly the warm feelings, the funny, fuzzy feelings are in. And suddenly we're back. We're back. I don't know. I'd take Pedro Neto. Unfortunately, exposing an injury-prone man to an injury-prone team with the dog shit medical team, it could be one of those things where you bring him in and then you don't see him very often.
Not with the 2 new medical monsters that we've signed this week.
Look, we're doing this again. Our fans are so funny. Look, if you listen to Chelsea fans, what they say about him, they don't care if he goes. They're like, just let him leave. He's inconsistent. He's not good.
Oh my
our fans
fucking days. Lads, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Seriously, I had to come on because the absolute bullshit I'm hearing over the last 10 minutes. Unbelievable. Eugene, you are one for them, man. You are seriously one for them. I can't believe what I'm hearing. And Flower, I was really hoping that we were going to be on the same side this season, brother, because we were both on the Savinho train. But you're telling me you don't want Pedro Neto Every
I didn't
single
say I
one
don't
of
want
you
him.
that has said that in the last 10 minutes, give your bloody head a wobble. Pedro Neto is elite, lads.
Oh my goodness.
Pedro Neto is something else. I don't understand. You
elite?
saw him at Wolves. You literally just got mudded there a second ago, Eugene, saying that he has no output. Are you for real?
Against
Are
Hull.
you for
Against
real?
Leeds and Hull, dude. Against championship teams.
If the dude, I don't care if we only put him out against if we put him out against the bottom table teams and he scores every time, I don't give a shit. Harry Kane doesn't turn up in big games.
Hold on.
I honestly,
Relax.
if you think Pedro Neto is a bad player, you are mental.
Hold on.
No one said
Absolutely
that.
mental.
No one said that.
How
No
many
one said
times
he's
have
a
you watched him
bad
play
player.
last season? Simple question.
If you don't want him,
how many times have you watched him play last season?
well, first of all, I mean,
It's a simple question. How many times have you watched him play last season?
I didn't watch every single Chelsea game. I watched him enough. I watched him. I watch the match of the day. So I've seen him enough times to know that the dude has unbelievable quality.
Match of the day, though, Cam. That's like checking him out on YouTube.
Huh?
Adam, just quickly. Are you on a phone or are you on a laptop?
I'm on my phone.
Could you move the phone away? You're just your audio's coming through like 3 times louder than everyone else's. Is that all right?
Sure. No, it's just my voice, mate. It carries. You know what I mean?
That's all right. I love a projectile. I love a projectile. You know, bombs and hell dropping. And listen, Adam hasn't been on the show for a little while. He comes in and he's fucking throwing haymakers at all of us.
You know what?
I
Spurs
just
fans
can't
have
believe
no
what I'm
clue what a
hearing.
good player looks like. Spurs
I
fans
can't
have no
believe
clue.
what
They
I'm
forgot
hearing.
what a good player looks like. Ask Chelsea fans, and they don't rate him.
Yeah, do you know who the most ignorant fans in humanity are, by the way?
They know their team.
Chelsea fans are a special breed of donut.
They are
They know
literally
winning
the
players.
dumbest people known to humanity that know nothing about football until Abramovich bought them.
The arrogance.
Who have we been linked with in the left wing position? In the left wing position, who have we been linked with that's better than Pedro Neto? And Eugene, if you mention anyone outside the Premier League, I'm going to go spare.
Savio. For me, I'll take Savio over Neto.
Honestly, I would take Savio over Neto too. I don't rate
Oh
him, but
my
at least
days,
They're different types of players, though. Come on, they're not the same style.
Neto, is he?
Well, Neto,
that is absolutely madness.
According to Transfer Market, Neto played like as many games, but nowhere near as many minutes on the left. But according to StatsBomb data, and again, my data is just ripping it from the StatsBomb website, they're saying that he played the vast majority of his minutes as a right wing. So I don't know the truth, but
he's unbelievable on both sides. He played both sides for Chelsea and for Wolves, and he's lethal no matter which side he plays on.
He's better on the right, is he not?
I would say so.
I mean, he's left-footed, so if you want him scoring goals, then put him on the right. If you want him putting crosses in, put him on the left. But he's gonna do the business regardless. Pedro Neto, lads, flipping heck.
No, mate.
Honest to God.
I don't have to give my head a wobble because I reckon that he doesn't matter who he comes in as like an option, you know, that offers you something different than what we have, who produces quality and actually scores goals.
Prem proven.
And
Prem proven.
As far as I'm concerned, as long as, you know, the medical team actually does what they're meant to do and keeps him on the pitch, and he's in rotation and not like run into the ground, then I think he would add nothing but a good thing to this squad. We need what we all forget,
100%.
guys. What we all forget is that the drop off that we have seen for so many seasons now between the starting 11 and the bench players has been monumental, which is why when there's been injuries to the best players because they've been run into the ground, why our results typically have fallen off a cliff, right? Is because of the massive gap in capability and talent between what has been our starting 11 and the also-rans. So if we're going to build a squad here, which I really hope that is what De Zerbi is doing, then we need quality, not only the ones that start, but also the guys that are on the bench.
Flower, you were on the same train as me with regards to Savinho. Savinho doesn't bloody well get played, mate, and you know how good he is. So, like the fact that Neto's not getting played for Chelsea doesn't mean anything.
I'm not saying that, and I actually never said he was bad either. I just said I felt a bit underwhelmed. So I don't, even as Sean was going through the stats, I don't know why. I just feel a bit like I don't know. For me,
he would excite me more than Rafael Leao. He'd excite me because of the fact that Rafael Leao hasn't done it in the Prem.
I like a Savinho on the wings. I like a Kudos on the wings. They're the sort of people that I personally like in my team. I want someone that's really good on the ball, skill, flair, fast. That's kind of what I like. I don't mind.
Pedro Neto has skill and flair, and he's definitely
not like Savio,
he's got more output than the other two. He's got more output than the other two.
I agree. But Savio, for me, the way he dribbles, that is different to Neto. He's far better close control than Neto, in my opinion.
I think, to be fair, what we're hearing is that we're possibly going for both of them, and both of them can play on both sides. They're both left-footed. They can both play on both sides. They can both put in the crosses from the left. They can both score from the right. They can both piss past people.
I don't know if you heard, but before you come on, which is what I said. In getting both, I'm happy with that. That's perfect scenario for me.
And Neto can play as a cam as well, by the way, and he's brilliant there.
That does mean Tel, Odegaard, all of those are going to be leaving, right? Surely that means if you're bringing Savio, because I was listening to a chat earlier. I don't know whose it was, but these players are going to want to play football, right? It's okay for us saying, no, Jed Spence, you're not going nowhere. But if he's saying, look, there's one game a week, I'm never going to get any minutes, you can't expect him to stay. Same with Tel. If we said, right, there's Neto and Savinho, Tel, you're not playing again, there's no way him as a footballer should be staying, or he's going to want to stay, surely. So for me, that means we are like really going to town. We're going to kind of rip up everything. All these sort of fringe players are going as well as the starting players, which I'm all here for. But
that's you wouldn't say no to it, would you?
No, but that's a lot to do in one season. The first team and the backup players and
great.
I get it.
The only thing it says, because as I said, Pedro Neto can play as a cam as well, and he's phenomenal there too. He's not just a winger like a lot of the players who play on the wing. The guys who play on the wing typically they prefer it. Like I used to play on the wing when I played from my college. You prefer it because you know you don't have to look at one side. You only have to worry about one side of the pitch. Neto's not like that. He's very happy to be in the middle and be able to take on everyone all around him as well. So the only thing that it puts the kibosh on, if we get Pedro Neto, we're definitely not going after Morgan Gibbs-White, because then we don't need the guy who can play on the right and in the centre.
Well, and what's interesting about that? What's interesting about that? Big up to you, Kate. Welcome to the show as well. Eugene's got something. He's shaking his head. Like
Morgan Gibbs-White. We're saying we don't want Morgan Gibbs-White because we want.
No, I didn't say I don't want him. I'm saying that it would put the kibosh on it.
You're not going to get both, right? But just quickly on that, Ali Gold came out with a video, a thing earlier, an article, which was essentially talking about our homegrown challenges. That essentially we have, as you know, the rules are that you can get 25 senior players containing at most 17 non-homegrown players. And as it goes through here, it's basically saying Spurs currently have 29 senior players in total when they can only register 25. And we already have too many men that are non-homegrown. So if you're bringing in Savinho and, for example, Pedro Neto, there has to be a lot. Like, you'd think that you'd need to be bringing in someone else who's homegrown, and then removing some of the players that are actually currently at the club that aren't homegrown, like a Romero, like a Richalison, like someone else. But again, it goes back to the question around selling Lankshear to me and just completely tearing up the youth academy. We'll come back to that story. Kate, I'll let you. I've got to run downstairs quickly. Someone's at the door. I'll let you say your piece on Pedro Neto, and I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. But can you then transition the story into, and let you guys run with it, around selling Romero to Chelsea? Would you be okay with doing that as part exchange or whatever? Because that seems to be part of the story tonight. Big up to you, Kate. Go on, crack on.
Eugene, you make me die. You spend your whole life talking about Prem Food players, and we get with such a great Prem Food player, and you can't go, oh, don't want Neto. It's like, what exactly do you want? You are being a spoiled, petulant Tottenham fan.
You guys have no idea what quality looks like. Spurs fans haven't seen a top player in forever, so now we accept rejects from other teams. Kate, he was not good enough to play for Chelsea. They want to get rid of him. Now
that's nonsense.
That's nonsense. We want him. Hold on,
nonsense.
Morgan.
This is the first time I've seen Neto's name being like thrown around as being involved in any transfer.
You could say that about every player. Oh well, we got so-and-so because they're not good enough to be playing for so-and-so. It's
Give me an example.
Nonsense,
Like
Eugene. You're making nonsense up to back up a silly argument.
Hold on.
Yeah.
If you go to a lower team, for example, if you go to Forest and you pay 100 million for Gibbs White, their best player, you can say, yep, we took their best player. When you go to City and get their rejects, or Chelsea get their rejects, that's not closing the gap.
You're insane. You actually think that you should only ever buy from teams that are worse than you. Are you serious?
No.
You should only ever buy from teams that are worse than you are.
Hold on.
That is the worst take you've ever come out with.
Comprehension. How are you going to close the gap between us and top teams if we don't buy players?
You buy players from teams that are better than us if they're willing to get rid of them.
And not
Pedro Neto is better than everything we have. Pedro Neto is better than everything we have.
What you do is you go after the players that your manager actually wants.
And not only that,
of where they happen to sit in the pecking order.
Hold on. Gibbs White for 110, or those two? Gibbs White for 110, or Savio and Neto for 6 each? Gibbs White all day.
They're not the same player. They're not the same player.
We're not talking about him. We're talking about Neto. And the fact is, if you look at De Zerbi and how he plays, Pedro Neto is perfect.
Sean, you just missed an absolute howler from Eugene saying that we should only buy players from teams that are lower down the pecking order than us. Like, this is absolutely. I don't know.
I didn't say that. Your comprehension is in the mud.
That's what you said, Eugene. That's what you said. If we buy from Chelsea,
one at a time, guys. Everyone's over talking each other. No one can hear.
We can't buy from Chelsea. Buy their top players.
So here's the problem, Sean. His logic is if you buy from a team bigger than you, you're clearly buying a reject because they want to drop down to us. So we have to buy from players. That's your logic.
Mentality, isn't it?
He's available.
That's your logic, Eugene. That's your logic, Eugene. That's what you're saying.
Don't make me Dosava and be like, use your ears, because you know
mine are huge, mate. Mine are huge, mate. I can hear everything you're saying.
Adam, if you go to Chelsea and get their top player who they do not want to get rid of, that's one thing. Going to Chelsea and getting a player who they're trying to sell, that's something else. And you should be able to understand the difference.
If you go to a team that's significantly better than you, you don't just go. If you get any of their top 10 players, they're better than our players. It doesn't make any sense that we have to go and only go for their number one. Tons of Chelsea players are better than our players.
They're 10th.
Tons of their players. I picked the number, but tons of their players are better than ours.
No, they're 10th in the table. We want to close the gap. They're not that much better than us. So we were
17th, mate. They're 7 positions better than us.
Hang on. I think that Chelsea are a little bit of an enigma because they are a bit of a trading company. They move their players in and on all the time, right? There's a player that left Chelsea that went to Manchester United and did really well. He hasn't done too well, but they're sticking with him. In the homegrown player, I forget his name off the top of my head. What's his name? Someone remind me. Also, they sold the other geezer to Arsenal for 85 million quid. Like, Chelsea have the ability to bring players in, whether they succeed or otherwise. It doesn't seem to affect their reputation as a footballer, nor does it seem to affect their value because they're seen as it's just like a trading company where a lot of people come in and out. So I don't think it's the same thing. If you were talking about a player that had flopped at a bigger club, completely flopped. But I don't think you can make that argument about Pedro Neto. Listen, it clearly is a split decision. But in the interest of time, like, there's other stories that are going on tonight, right? Like Romero going to Chelsea. Did you guys get a chance to speak about that whilst I was answering the door quickly?
Not yet. They just all went in on Eugene.
Oh, okay. Let's all be nice. It is only a Monday night. Eugene's feeling like he's being attacked here. The whole rambling's all over again.
Eugene's not being attacked. Eugene's takes are being attacked. Let's just call it what it is.
Richalison is elite, according to you. So that's the baseline for discussions.
As a human being, I've got nothing against Eugene. Let's just be clear. I mean, his takes are something else.
To be fair, Eugene has got a good point there. You rate Richarlison fairly highly. So if you're level,
I rate Richarlison. I'm on the record as saying I rate Richarlison higher than most people in the Spurs community. Most people in the Spurs community have treated Richarlison.
That take though, bro.
You now just made me not want Neto.
Richarlison, I'm happy to see the back of Richarlison, just to be clear, and I always have been. I've said if we ever bring in someone a better 9 than him, I'm delighted. It's just when people treat him like crap, I think it's awful because he's not as bad as everyone says he is. That's always been my take.
He really is, though.
I think you called him elite. I think you called him elite.
Yeah, in a rant where I was pissed off once.
All right, listen. How does everyone feel? Let me just see what the poll said. 70. There's only 330 votes in the poll. 73% of people saying he's a baller. 27% saying bin that bum. So it is an interesting one. Obviously, not everyone's on board it, but more people are on board it than are currently not on board it. We love to see it. I'm going to come back and do the Romero take in a minute, and then we've got to talk about Bahoya as well, and obviously Yandy Amandi, and obviously what I've been told by a certain mate of ours, who I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so I'm not even going to give anything away, but he's been told by someone that he knows a thing or two about a thing or two, that Tottenham Hotspur are moving mad in names, and that guy has heard it through the grapevine in the forward line. Don't know what the names are, but he said if Tottenham pull them off, then it would be meaningful. And you know what? We've had a little bit of a dry spell, right? Where's my bomber? Where's my bomber? And maybe now the World Cup's done, we're going to ramp it back up again before we get some outgoings done. Romero is the next topic of conversation, though, because the statement that he's been offered to Chelsea and he'd like the move coming from Timothy, that to me would put the nail in the coffin. Anybody that still sits there and goes, my captain, my fucking Romero, I'll forgive all of his indiscretions because he called out Daniel Levy. If he goes to Chelsea, surely he becomes one for the archives of donuts in Tottenham world. Let me see what you think about that in a second. But Andrew Burnett, big up to you. Andrew Burnett 1009. He's in America. Big up to you, Andrew. He says, you have not had enough drinks today. No, I haven't. I haven't had enough drinks at all. Been a good boy. But we're making up for it now. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Cy Dance has become a new member. Big up to you, Cy Dancer. Appreciate you, mate. Looking forward to the next fan phoning show, which will be this week. And thank you very much. I appreciate your loyalty and your support. Declan Heffernan. Big up to you, Declan. He says, Adam needs to be in sales. Neto is a wet fart. Take that as a compliment, Adam. Take that as a compliment. You know, you're pitching your boy. You do have an unusual affiliation with all things Brazilian. You know,
Pedro Neto is Portuguese.
Oh, is he? Of course he is. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Same thing, though, right? Same the European Brazil. So, yeah, fuck it. Never mind.
Hey, but just so you know, Brazil and Portugal hate each other. So I'm not backing anyone Portuguese.
But, you know, they all sound like they're dancing when they speak. You know, it's that rhythmic thing. It's all a bit weird. A user says Spurs and Chelsea do not do business. Move along. Well, that's true. That's true. Is there any chance this is all just bollocks? But Timothy's on a roll, right? He got the last one right. He got the ones before right. He's on a roll. He's trying to recalibrate himself back to the top spot. Sizzy hasn't come out with any of these ones yet, I don't think. So he's trying to go out there, but is he going a little bit too big too soon? You know, is he the guy down the bar that starts his night off with several sambucas just to get him in the mood? And before he knows it, it's only 8 p.m. and he's in the toilet having tactical vomits. We don't know. Let's talk, though. Let's just finish this Chelsea story off. Romero to Chelsea. Flower, what say you, bro?
Oh, I don't want it to happen, to be honest. I don't want it. I want him gone, but I don't want him to go to Chelsea. Because even though we all hate him for who he, or hate's a strong word, but we're all disliking the guy at the moment. On his day, he's a very, very good defender. No one can deny that. So if they could get consistency out of him, why would we be strengthening one of our rivals? I would rather him go abroad for less money than go to Chelsea. If you're looking at purely rivalry, for me, I would rather him not go there. I mean, if they're the only ones that are prepared to pay the money, then you have to, right? You have to. That's fine. But for me,
is that a way to just basically, so like, you know, if it's a net that you're paying 20 million quid for Neto and you're getting rid of a player that's trouble, right? And you're either going to get 30 million by selling him to Inter, or you'll get the equivalent of 60 million and then pay 75 or whatever for Neto if he goes that way. Does that sweeten the deal a little bit that you're getting a good player in Pedro Neto? And he is a good player. He's a very good player. He's different to what we have. So I don't really understand the hate on the Neto thing, but is that a way that you can sort of...
No one hated him, though. No one, I didn't see anyone hating on him.
Sorry, wrong word. Just like the kind of the dissatisfaction with the rumor.
Yeah. No, I'd rather sell him for 30 million abroad. Personally.
Really?
Yeah. Because the thing is, he would go there and probably find form, and then they would probably go up, and we would. Well, I think we're going to go up anyway, but it could go to with him. For me, there is no middle ground with Romero. He's either the best defender in the league or the worst. But that is how I rate him, and I would be worried if he did go there and turn it on. That would be a concern for me, because I feel like their biggest issues are their centre backs. So if they could sort that out, I would be a little bit concerned, because I think they've got a good midfield, they've got a good front line. I would be kind of concerned on that personally.
That's a really good point. Chelsea's weak link is their centre back line, 100%, and they haven't really fixed it or resolved it. So Romero would be a good improvement there. What are you saying, Hugo? I think you're on mute, mate.
I said, do you reckon that Alonso would be able to manage Romero's ego?
Yeah, he's won stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, you've got, a fair few personalities and so on, and I don't know, man. Like, ultimately, Alonso rocked up having won the Bundesliga, with Leverkusen, rocked into Real, and, got jogged on pretty quick by the players. So I'm just wondering...
Yeah, but that's a different kettle of fish, and his win rate was still fantastic. It wasn't like he went there and bummed out every week and lost every week. He's still class win ratio.
No, like, I think he's a good manager, mate. I do, and he was a really good player back in the day too. I'm just wondering, my point being with Romero is if he is going to think that he is, too good for that club and that he should ultimately be playing for a Real Madrid, be playing for a Barcelona.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but what I would say is none of them have come in and bidded for him, right? So he's probably having a reality check, because we was reading as well things like he'd be happy to stay at Tottenham. So is he having a bit of a reality check and thinking, well, none of these guys want me. Next best thing is Chelsea, for example. And when someone like Alonso turns up, Romero, if he doesn't start paying attention, you say, look what I've won, look what I've done this, I've done this, and you're trying to talk to me about X, Y, Z. Like, I think he demands respect in the dressing room, personally.
Yeah, do you buy into that whole story that came out earlier, Kate, about Romero having too much influence in the dressing room?
I don't know, maybe, Sean. I don't understand. The other day I came on and said I wouldn't want to deal with Forest because Morgan Gibbs White, sell them someone. It's the same thing with Romero, but the difference is I don't care where Romero goes. I'll sell him to whoever's going to pay the most money. I don't care if it's Chelsea or whatever. I don't think Alonso's got any chance at all of managing that ego. And Chelsea's discipline problem just means with him and Enzo, there's going to be red cards every single game. So as far as I'm concerned, it'd be a good thing to send him to Chelsea. I think
if we get Neto coming our way as a happy day.
Yeah, I just don't want him at the club. And if we get offered 30 million for him to go abroad or 60 million for him to go Chelsea, I'm choosing Chelsea every day of the week because it's better for Spurs. I don't care what Chelsea do. I don't care where Romero goes. And if he had an influence in the dressing room, that shows a weakness in the management, if you ask me.
Let me put it like this, Kate. Let me put it like this. Neto's standalone value, his ability and output and whatever else per Sean's stats, right? Take the name Neto away and put someone else in, right? What would be their market value? Forget about what your preconceptions are of Neto and just put those same stats onto another player. How much is that
on the
value?
on the stats, you'd on the stats alone, if you didn't know who it was, you're looking at those stats, you'd go, fucking hell, what a player.
Yeah. You'd also say the same for Brennan Johnson, right? If we was just looking at stats and nothing else.
Say that, James. Exactly my point.
Let me finish. Like, bearing in mind that he's been doing it, he's been producing and so on for several years. Eugene, he's Prem proven.
Wait, how many goals did he go?
Let me finish.
Hold on. How many goals though in the last 5 years? Not many, right? He had one
more
good season
than
last
more
season.
than what we've got, mate. So what I'm saying is, like, in the grand scheme, right? What would the market value be if his name wasn't Neto and it was something else? What would the market value be elsewhere?
70 mil minimum, probably, in this market.
How much?
Probably more. 70 upwards.
Right, 70 odd
Really?
mil, right? So what's
In this
Romero's-
market, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Man,
let's say
I mean,
70
I need to
80.
watch him more because I'm not getting any of this. Like
We're
how
saying
everybody.
Neto, if it was just someone with those stats,
Right.
It was just a
Yeah, but
player.
that doesn't
those-
count, right? Because otherwise, Brennan Johnson doesn't look like a heap of shit.
Just
That
let
doesn't count.
Hugo finish his point. Let him
Can
land.
I just finish here, right? So throw into that mix that effectively you are talking about a 70 to 80 million pound player, right? Throw into the mix that you are getting rid of a massive toxic problem in your dressing room with supposedly a get out of jail card in his contract, which values him at what? 35, 40? What was the magic number, Sean?
Well, his dad said somewhere between between 40 and 50 million euros. So what is that? 37 to 48 or something, whatever. You know,
Okay.
40.
So basically what you're talking about is effectively getting rid of a problem out of your dressing room and having a net expenditure of about 30 mil for Neto. So you're getting a player of Neto's capability while getting rid of a massive problem for a net output of 30 million pounds. When you look at it like that, hang on, when you look at it like that, you tell me what quality you get for 30 million quid that looks like Pedro Neto as far as output,
not 30 million
as far
quid.
as what you've proven, and as far as the problem you've gotten rid of.
Yeah,
Mate,
I think it makes sense.
30 million quid. What are you doing there? How can you just say you're just writing Romero's value off completely?
Hold. Can I respond real quick? Sorry, James. Hugo. Last 5 years, Pedro Neto played 156 league games. He scored 23 goals. That's 1 goal every 6.8 games. We're not counting Hull or Leeds or championship sides. 1 goal every 7 matches, first of all. So all these like elite numbers, that's not true. Second of all, as James said, if you look at Brennan Johnson, Palace fans were telling us how they fleeced us 18 goals. So for all the stat merchants looking at stats, they don't tell the whole story. Johnson was chased out because he was useless outside of goals. So looking at the stat sheet,
Johnson's stats were not good at
18 goals, Sean. That's 18 goals.
They were. In goals they were, but he was shocking.
23 goals, Sean. 23 goals in 156 matches in last 5 seasons in the league.
That's in the Premier League,
not elite. That's not even close.
Okay,
to
what about his A? You're just talking about the G. What about what's his GA?
We need somebody to score goals. Okay.
Everybody on every show for the last 3 months have been saying we need goals.
Yeah, he's not a striker.
Eugene gives you goal stats, and then we're moving and saying no, we need assists.
Yeah, let's do the goal post.
What I'm saying is that we need quality wingers as well as a quality striker whose specific task is to strike, put the ball in the net. Do we want a winger who can provide both goals and assists?
Okay, here, Hugo.
Or do you
29
just want
assists.
a winger that scores goals?
So in 156 appearances, 23 goals and 29 assists. So that's 1 GA every 3 matches. Right?
Which
so
is
is that
pretty good,
elite?
is it not?
Yeah, look, I think Eugene makes a good point. Okay, in terms of the Premier League specific stats are not like, if you're looking at the overall stats and you're trying to find a reason to be optimistic about it, a lot of those goals and stats come against lower league opposition in the FA Cup or the Europa League or whatever else. And even for the most part, the goals and the assists that he gets for the most part in the Premier League in the 24-25 and in the 25-26 season are against bottom half teams. So like you could make the argument he's a flat track bully. 100%, that's a fair argument to make. It's a fair argument to make. If you want to look at it like that, it's absolutely fine. To me, I just think I actually don't hate Hugo's logic there when he says like you're getting rid of one problem at max value and you're solving another without.
We're not getting rid of him at max value. Eugene was saying about 30 million for Romero. Like, what are we doing here?
No. The argument is you get 30 million if you sell him to Inter, but you might get a 55, 60 million valuation by selling him.
No, because Eugene said a 30 million pounds for Neto, including Romero.
Hold on, I didn't say that.
No, not Eugene. Sorry, not Eugene. Hugo. Hugo
Yeah,
said
'cause
there'd be
that's
a
the
30
difference.
30 million.
That is the difference between the buyout clause in Romero's contract.
Well, even like I don't know what Neto's value is, right? But on the same token, like Chelsea always seem to maintain their players' value. And if Berghvall's going for 50 million quid, and if Savinho's coming for 65 million quid, and if you've got players like Elliot Anderson that are going for 115, like you know that the value of the market is bonkers. So on that basis, you could make an argument that if you want to participate in Prem to Prem transfers, then you would be paying a decent number for Pedro Neto because he has done more than Savinho in terms of output. His stats smash Savinho to pieces on all of the stats. They smash Mathys Tel. They smash everybody else on a stat, not just his output, but his input factors as well. His dribbles, his crossing, all those other things. Now, if you want to look into the detail, and again, I don't think anybody here watches Chelsea with that exact zoomed lens where you are that familiar with his interactions in every single game. So that's where the stats come in handy. If you want to go and look into it, then be my guest. I haven't got the time to go and run the tape on it. But there's an argument to say that Pedro Neto is ahead of Tel, Odegaard, and Savinho in a pecking order based on talent, experience, input, and output. Right? That's the argument. And so on that basis, if Savinho is going to cost you 65, then you can make the argument that Chelsea would want 75 for Neto. But on that same argument, you could make the argument that Romero should be worth to a Premier League team who has the money 50 million quid. But if you don't want to sell into the Premier League competition, you have to then go and receive non-Premier League rates. And that's just the way that the pecking order and the food chain works in football. Like, you're not going to get anything like the same money from Barcelona or Inter Milan or Atletico Madrid as you would from Chelsea. And if Chelsea really need him and Tottenham don't want him and he's a troublemaker, you could end up with it won't be a swap deal, obviously, it doesn't work that way, but you could end up with one going in one direction. In a world where Tottenham and Chelsea break the habit of a lifetime and start doing business together, you could find where you essentially end up without Romero and with Neto coming in and you're about 20 million quid out of pocket. And to me, I think that's not a bad trade.
I think that is dreadful.
He missed 41% of games due to injury. He missed 109 games in 5 years due to serious knee injuries, ankle injuries, and hamstring injuries.
Yeah,
the idea that he's coming in to play rotation on the right wing and play rotation in the cam, right? Like, again, as I'm saying that the reason why people are saying that we're going to be going for Savinho and for Neto is because Neto is basically the Morgan Gibbs-White style player that can do the other side of the pitch, and I don't understand how. It's baffling for me. Like, I think people forget the big picture very frequently, because if you had said to us 2 years ago that our two right wing rotation options were going to be Mohamed Kudus and Pedro Neto, like, seriously, guys, like, just cast your mind back to like more than just this recency bias that's happening at the moment, where we've gone mad with what we're spending our money on, and you think there's better out there. Like, better than who? These guys in the last number of years have had unbelievable stats. Those two as our right wing rotation options is insane.
The thing is, though, Tottenham fans really do rate Kudus, but his output's terrible. It wasn't before
he got injured.
He was no. Kudus was fantastic.
I don't say terrible. If he had a few games for us at the start of the season, his output was really good.
He doesn't score goals.
He had a few assists. He had a few assists at the start of the season.
Wasn't he like the top chances created as well? He created the most chances in the league.
I'm talking about output, like scoring.
Yeah, but that's also, not his fault. Richalison and Solanke, is it?
Well, Kudus was playing really well for us before he got injured.
How can you knock a player for that?
What did you say? Sorry.
Me?
One at a time.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he created the most chances in the league before he got injured. When we're judging people about GA, you can't then start saying that Richalison and Solanke shit. If he's given them more chances than anybody else in the Premier League and they've missed it, how are we criticising him for that?
I agree. The argument is Neto doesn't score enough goals. Well, then neither does Kudus.
Exactly. We need somebody who does.
Here. Yeah, no, but I've never said. Yeah, that's his problem. I never said that.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? We all big up Kudus, but he doesn't score goals either.
Yeah, I've always said, and I think Sean will back me up here, because the reason I wanted Savio is because I want a style of play. I've never said I need my Savio to score 15 goals. I need Kudus to say 15 goals. I think a lot of our fans are underestimating the De Zerbi effect and the style of play. I feel like everybody is going to be able to get 13 goals on 13, just making a number up.
What we
13 goals a season will be spread between 5 or 6 players rather than, right, Neto's going to score 20 goals, Richarlison's going to get 20 goals. I don't think it's going to be like that under De Zerbi. I think it's going to be a lot more free-flowing. I think you'll see Porro back.
I think Kudus will get goals. Like, I genuinely think Kudus is going to get goals under De Zerbi. Like, Kudus, I don't understand where this idea that Kudus wasn't good until he got injured came from. Kudus was our best player before he got injured.
Guys, what we also forget,
and that was playing under floppy Frank. Right.
Said,
so
Adam, you misheard. He said that Kudus was the best player until he got injured, and then he got injured and he came back and he fell off. Right, but he was a good player.
I'm just saying in general.
I'm pretty sure the stats that was the standout stat was successful take-ons. It wasn't chances created, wasn't it? It was take-ons. He was the number one successful take-on guy in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But he will be doing all sorts of things under De Zerbi that he wasn't doing under Frank.
Is we had very little down the left, and so more times than not, Kudus was double teamed by defenders.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So if you then have a capable left winger, then that obviously means that they are less inclined to double team one side or the other because they need to, obviously mitigate on both sides, right? But the point I have made is that half of the reason that Kudus got injured is because he was run into the ground, because there was such a gap of quality between Kudus and who was, there to be able to be subbed in his place, that if you have both Neto and Kudus there where you can slightly different players can sub in one over the other, then you have a situation, hopefully in due course, whether you want to blend Tel and or someone who is obviously
you need you need the dual threat. 100% you need the dual threat. And you need people that can take players on both sides. So if you have Kudus on the right and you have Savio on the left-hand side, for sure that will terrorize fullbacks. Fullbacks will need to pull for help.
But then if you get space Neto in the 10 as well, if you have Neto as well, whereby Kudus, is tired, or if Neto was to be coming on the other side or whatever it is, you have not only improved your starting 11 for different games, for where you need a slightly different style, but we are trying to build a quality squad here. And for too long, the squad is what has not been good enough above and beyond the starting 11. That is my opinion.
But Hugo, with one game a week, we first need to improve our starting 11. And Kate is spot on about Kudus. Kudus does different things, but he's never been a goal scorer. But but he's already in the squad, right? So we are stuck with Kudus. And he's a good player. So that's why when we're looking for a complementary winger, he needs to offer something else. And again, even if we have Neto or Savio and Kudus, if we spend 50 million on a squad option and don't bring in a striker, who is scoring the goals? We don't have the goals on the team.
You must agree, Eugene, if we buy a top quality winger that Kudus has got to compete with, he'd probably up his game. Because
I agree.
Everything. And Neto is a good squad player.
But the money isn't... No, Kate, if we had a good starting 11, 100% bring in Neto, bring in anybody, right? But the issue is it's opportunity cost. Our money isn't unlimited. If we spend 50 million on Neto, it means we're not going to spend 50 million on a striker or on somebody else.
But if Romero's
starting 11 isn't...
Exactly. As I was just going to say, if Hugo's plan comes to fruition, we won't be spending 50 million.
Okay, fine. Okay, so if we're assuming that we have unlimited funds and we can bring in, like in Football Manager, anybody who we want, cool, let's get everybody. But the point is, we need to spend big money on the striker first. After that, do whatever you want. So
you know what, though?
50
I think it gets a lot easier to attract a quality striker when the striker can see what kind of provision and quality is going to be given off the flags.
It's only money, Hugo. Nobody's going to give us a discount. I'm
not talking about a discount. What I'm talking about is whether the player is going to be interested, period.
I mean, if you pay the money, the player is going to be interested.
I still need to come back to this idea around squad planning, right? We are currently, I think Adrian put it in the chat a while ago. I should have started really, but I think that we do have 7 homegrown players in Danso, in Austin, in Spence, in Gallagher,
Maddison.
in Maddison, and someone else, and Solanke, right? I think that's the 7. So we're okay there. But if that's the case, and we've got 28 players in the squad, then we've got 3 or 4 too many foreign players. So we have to get rid of certain players, right? We have to make some of those players leave. Now, who are those players going to be? Romero's clearly going to be one. Richarlison, there's just no noise, no. Ben Davies as well. Big up to you, Luke. Thank you for putting that one in.
Vicario.
Yeah, Vicario's obviously going to go. We haven't heard anything there.
There's noise for around Richarlison to Inter and to Juventus.
I mean, you'd have to think one of the makeshifts would be Bentancur, right?
No,
Bentancur's not going anywhere. He's a De Zerbi favourite.
Well, I'm just talking about Sean's talking about having to make some.
Yeah,
room.
so we need to get.
But it won't be him.
We need to get rid of net 3, and then if we're bringing in more non-homegrown players, then we need to get rid of more. So if we're bringing Neto and Savinho in, then we need to get rid of 5 non-homegrown players to be able to.
The sending players out on loan constitute as
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you can do that.
So then you've definitely got what's his name? The Brazilian left back. I forgot his name already. Sousa.
Yeah. So Sousa. How old is Sousa? He wouldn't even count.
He's 19 or 20,
I don't think he would count. I think he's under 21, so I don't think he would count. That's fine. He's a B-list player. But in terms of the rest, you'd have too many, right? Micky.
No, look, I've got the team sheet up, right? So Vicario, we'll say he's going to go, right?
Definitely.
Then it's Danso, Xavi, Gallagher. They're going to stay.
It's homegrown now. Did you know that?
Yeah. Udogie, Tel could go. Richarlison could go. Berghvall.
Sarr, Richarlison.
Sarr.
Berghvall, Romero.
Selling Berghvall is a fucking kick in the teeth because he would convert to being.
But you guys are forgetting. You're forgetting Kota Katai, Solomon, Sarr. Phillips is English. So Sousa can go out on loan.
How old is Kota Takai?
Click on it. It says
21. 21.
21.
Oh, and Robertson as well is another homegrown. Okay, yeah, we're good for homegrown then. We're fine for homegrown, but we just got too many people that are non-homegrown in our squad.
Get rid of loads of them, though. Whatever his name is, he's shit. Get rid of him.
Oh?
Huck two and spit on that Yang.
Yeah. So there is a lot there to get rid of. Him, Yang, Solomon,
Richarlison, Yang, Sarr, Romero, Vicario.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, so we're good then. We're good as long as we get the right numbers in.
Charlison, there's no problem there.
I will retract what I said about Bentancur. I don't know. Someone said I hate Bentancur. That's not true. I was just trying to work out.
You did kind of debunk your argument about bringing in a squad player, so then saying you're going to get rid of Bentancur, which kind of did make sense.
The reason would have been because he's never quite been the same after he had the ACL, and he's one of the older players in the squad.
You could say that exactly the same thing about Neto, right? His goal scoring hasn't been the same since he had that big injury at Wolves.
Yeah, but he's
how old do you think Bentancur is?
28, 29.
28, 29, something like that, is he?
I've
got to ask
29.
you guys right now. This whole Neto conversation has gone back and forth with so many micro arguments and people picking apart each other. I feel like everyone's having a little micro bicker with each other tonight. The only one who stayed out of it is Kate. Beautiful
26.
Kate.
Neto, it's not 29.
Neto's 26. Yeah, Neto's 26. Yeah, no, it was like Bentancur's 28, 29. I'm going to understand. So right now, I don't know actually who's where on what on the Neto story. Adam, you are clearly up for it. Eugene, you're not up for it?
Not for 50 mil. If we get him for 30 as a squad option, yes. But if he costs us a striker, if we pay more than 50 million for him and he's our starting left winger, no, not as a starter.
It's definitely worth it. A straight swap Romero for him is definitely worth it.
What about Romero? What about Romero plus 20 mil? 30
Romero
mil?
to Chelsea. Nah.
I think Romero's a World Cup winner. I think that would be ridiculous to do.
No,
I mean, I'm the kind of person who doesn't give a toss about the money. It's not my wallet, so I really don't care. I would say that it's not reasonable to ask for Romero plus cash for Pedro Neto. I would just do the straight swap. If they want an extra 10, 20 million, if Spurs are willing to spend it and they're cash happy, I really don't care.
I'll level with you. I don't know. Not for a second do I think that Pedro Neto is valued at anything like that in this market. Right? Absolutely not.
I know.
It's got to be a straight swap.
He was valued at 70 million quid. But it will be if there was and I don't know if there's any truth to it, but if there was any truth at all that Tottenham and Chelsea could let bygones be bygones and do a deal here, and if both clubs were happy to make that trade, it will be interesting who of the two gets the peak evaluation.
You know what else was another reason? Just thinking why I wouldn't. They've just spent 17 million on Rodgers. They're gonna have to start bringing that money in to get back under PSR. Fuck them. You do not jog on. No chance.
Listen, they're trying to get Lacroix anyway, right? So they're going to pay 55 million for Lacroix.
So they're 200 mil down before selling a player, or they got their guy to United. No, I wouldn't. To be honest,
they do. If they bring in Lacroix, they won't do Romero, by the way, because they're both right-sided centre backs. I
think that's the point. I think
okay.
I think Tottenham are having that conversation going. Obviously, they're trying to get Lacroix. Lacroix's valued at minimum 55 because they use Tottenham's bid for Van Hecker as the benchmark on the marketplace. Tottenham are setting precedents this summer, right? And so on the basis of that, I think Tottenham are sitting there kind of going, look, Romero's trouble, right? The Tottenham fans, for the most part, have turned, or to some degree, have turned on him with reason. He wants out. We want to get as much money back so we can do other things, but we're not going to get that overseas. I don't really give a fuck. Like, if Chelsea go and get Lacroix or they get Romero, they're still a much better team defensively than they were last season. Far better than players like Badiashile and fucking the rest of those bozos that they've got over there, right? So, to me, like, they're going to have a better centre-back this summer. I'd rather Tottenham get rid of a problem. I actually agree with Hugo. I 100% agree with Hugo, and I think Kate was on that page as well. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have a crack here because I like Pedro Neto, and I think he has got a lot about him. I saw someone in the chat saying Tel and Sabino and all these guys have got time on their side to improve. You're not going to see a better version of Neto at 26, which is also a fair point.
I also personally, I really, really love a narrative. I think the main reason that I watch football is because I just love to see the stories unfold, and it's like it's like a it's drama at the end of the day. And I think that Romero going to Chelsea just cements himself as a villain, and I think it would be good for us to be able to let him go and be like, we didn't, okay, he's a World Cup winner on his day. He's one of the best centre backs in the world. I don't want anybody I'd hate for anybody to think that we were silly for letting him go. We should have given him a chance or whatever. Just cement yourself as an absolute dirtbag by going to the scum. And I actually think that it's the best place for him because there's no team in the world that I hate more than Chelsea. And if Romero went there, he's just showing his true colours as far as I'm concerned. And there would just be something very satisfying about it for me.
And he's not going to do any better at Chelsea. We know who he is. He plays for Argentina. He doesn't care about playing in the Prem. He's a mercenary. This is just
he'll do an injury. He'll do an injury right before the international game.
So, on his day, as you said, he can be great, but he doesn't care about the Prem whatsoever. So for him,
he'll get a red card every season.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine the Chelsea-Tottenham, the first derby if he went to Chelsea.
It'll be another massive battle at the bridge.
Oh, it would be absolutely insane.
That's a snap leg for Kudos or James Maddison. I'd rather not.
Well, he gets sent off, though.
I don't care. I don't want to lose him to my players.
No, but he would get sent off in every
That's all right,
single
Flower.
game he played
Pedro
against us, wherever he
Neto to
played.
come off the bench.
Yeah.
The fact that you're bigging him up about being a bench player is the concerning straight away, surely.
Oh, hang on, but this I was doing the rounds, so I asked you, Eugene. So
70 million is mad for a bench player.
Adam was yes, Eugene was no, but yes twice. James, you came into the chat with like a very positive on Neto, and then I don't know what happened. Somehow in the show you've gone.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was going to say that James didn't come in positive on Neto. One of the reasons I came on here in the first place is because James and Eugene were both shitting on the idea.
Oh, okay.
I didn't shit on him.
You said you were underwhelmed, and I think being underwhelmed with the name Pedro Neto is absolutely insane.
Absolutely not. Because Sean said all of his screen stats, look at the green bars. I said, I get it. I don't know why I'm underwhelmed. I'm just underwhelmed. I never said he was shit. I never said he was bad. I never said I didn't want it. I just said I don't know why. I'm a bit like, For me, again, like I said, I think I want a winger like Kudus on the other side. I would rather invest if we're saying Romero 30 million and then add him 30 million or whatever. If he's valued at 60 million, I'd rather take the hit on someone like Noosa for that kind of money.
Oh, well, let me quickly show you. Let me quickly show you, just to round it off things, just real quick, just so I can know. Kate, are you yes or no on Neto?
Me?
Yeah. Yes
He's
or
all
no?
the way in.
I'm a hell yes to the yes.
You're a hell yes.
Yeah,
Hugo,
baby.
One word answer, quick, Hugo, so I can move on to the next story. Hugo, yes or no?
Yes, as long as we get rid of Romero, so we're not having to chuff out however much.
All right, so listen, this is another story from today that came out as well from that Timothy, who's saying that Tottenham are also making moves for this fella, Jean-Matteo Berghvall, Negoche, who plays as a left winger, left centre forward, left-sided forward for Eintracht Frankfurt, 21 years old. Now, the standard stats on him looked atrocious, like the standard default stats. But if you go a little bit deeper, which some of those other tools don't allow you to do, but the data hub on Spurs Talk Show can afford you to access, you can actually see his input factors, his dribbles. He's one of the greatest in European football last season. At 21 years old, his OB, on-ball value, dribbling and carrying, was 98th percentile. His XG assisted, 93rd percentile. Key passes per 90, 100th percentile. Completed crosses. This guy is an out-and-out touchline winger in a lot of key passes, lot of assisted goals, and hell of a lots of, like, he gets the ball, takes the man on down the left-hand side, and you can see it. Where is it? Where's my positional stents? Here we go. He's played in every fucking position down the left-hand side. He's a complete left winger, but he, again, isn't someone that gets too much involved with the output. He's the input guy. He gets the ball, you give it to him, and he takes every man on and does it very, very bloody well. 21 years old, though. I don't know too much about Berghvall. I'm not going to sit there. I haven't watched him. I haven't run the tape on him. So, but I remember looking at him earlier on in the summer quickly on the old Y Scout tool before my subscription expired, and he's impressive, right? He's an impressive runner, and he's quite, he's very capable. But again, it's what is it that you want? But this goes back to Flowers' point earlier. That Flowers, like everyone was talking about, you want output. James himself isn't particularly bothered about having players on the wings that are going to score that many goals because he thinks it's going to get shared around. I'm fine with having variety, right? I like variety. I think that you need a squad and you need certain players that are fantastic at doing certain things and you need certain players that are fantastic in doing other things. That's why I don't mind Savinho being in there if you also have a Rashford or a Leao, one of those guys who can play off the left and can put the ball in the back of the net. And then in certain games, you're going to want those guys on. And in other games, when you need to change things up because you're not in the strong position during the game or because attention's dropped or effort's fallen or whatever else, you bring someone else in. I don't think you need like a Mathys Tel and a Berghvall and a Savinho and an Udogie and a Xavi Simons. I don't think you need all of these sorts of similar types of players. I feel like you need a bit more variety. So for me, that's why I'm more on board the Pedro Neto thing, because I think he's dangerous in all departments, but can actually put the ball in the back of the net. Although to Eugene's point, I do accept, Eugene, that a lot of those output goals, when you look into it, they seem to be a bit of flat track bullyish. He doesn't seem to do it against the Arsenals, doesn't really do it against the Newcastles or the Tottenhams or whoever else. He does it against the bottom teams. But that's okay too, right? You've got to play everybody twice. And so if you get a guy that can score 10 goals and 10 assists in a season, but do it, even if it happens to be against the bottom half team, so what, right? Like they're still going to get you the 3 points. All points count the same, regardless of who you're playing against. Any takers on Berghvall?
I'm just going to jump in real quick, lads, because I'm gonna head off now. But that doesn't excite me, to be honest. I think if we're considering who that we've been linked to already on the left, that would be the underwhelming. The kind of the no name doesn't really have a pedigree. For me, I would be absolutely frothing at the mouth if we got Pedro Neto and Savinho. I'll jump off and leave you, guys. Thank you so much for having us on.
Appreciate you, mate. Coming in swinging haymakers on a Monday night. Love to see it. Big up to you, Adam. Thanks for coming on, bro. Take care, mate.
Take care, mate.
What an interesting evening it turned out to be. Let me do a couple of super chiddly chit chats that have built up in the background, and then I want to get back to Will Lankshear because my man Johnny's just dropped some more information. Apparently, Will Lankshear is 100% leaving. He said goodbye to everybody. I think we've got to go back to that conversation quickly. Neto is decent, says Spurs OC. Big up to you, my man. Yeah, I rate him. I'm surprised by the Twitter fallout. Like everyone's like, this guy is trash. There's a lot of people in the chat that say it as well. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I just like every fucking player that Tottenham ever linked with, there's always a split in the fan base. Big up to you, OC. Thank you very much. A user says, send Romero to the moon on the next Falcon 9 outing. Yeah. Mate, I don't... If he goes to Chelsea, for me, he might do well there, but I think he's just going to... I don't know. For me, I don't think he's that good consistently enough. So, you know, I'd rather get 60 million for him and him playing the Premier League than 30 million and him leave. Elliot Cooling says, does Neto move the needle for Spurs?
No.
You don't think he's a needle mover?
No, definitely not.
My concern about him is injuries, not so much talent.
Same. I think he moves the needle because he's better than what we've got. So he has to move the needle.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, well, obviously, within reason, right? He's going to move the needle, but he ain't going to take us to the next level, so it's pointless for me.
Like,
I've got to say, I think the more I think about it, the more I am actually going the opposite way. I actually don't really want him. I think there's so much more out there for that money.
Felipe Felipe.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I was thinking it, and I just researched it online, like left wingers and right wingers. The guy's nowhere to be seen. There's so many out there that are better, and even the ones that are not better, I would be so much rather take a punt on someone like Nusa, the guy from Everton. What's the guy from Everton? All of these guys are levels and levels and levels above him, and yet we are doing what we always do, and we'll get the middle class. Rather than going push the boat out like we have done with Tonali and Fernandez. Stop the kind of dropping down again.
Yeah, but
get the good guys.
You can't just spend and get top players in every position in one window. You can't.
Why? But the problem with Tottenham has always been we always settle for mid, and then they sit on the bench, they rot, and then they get sold for £10 million, and we've wasted that money anyway.
And Kate
always do that. That is the problem for Tottenham. Tottenham never go out and go, right. So whether it's Savinho or whoever, Nusa, whoever is going to be on that left wing, they should go out and go, right, you're my left winger, I'll buy you. You're my striker, I'll buy you. You're my left back, I'll buy you. But what we tend to do is go, well, he's all right. He moves the needle a little bit. And then what will happen, from what happened, in my opinion, for me, if everybody's fit in our squad, Neto doesn't get in. And that's with our squad right now. I would play Xavi on the left over Neto with Maddison in midfield and Kudus on the right. My opinion, I think we've wasted a lot of money on somebody that can't get in, or potentially it's a good debate whether he's going to get into the first 11 now, and yet we're going to potentially buy another one and then add him. But I don't see the point.
70 million, James. 70 million. That's the issue.
Point, right? It's a fair point. But let's be honest though. Tottenham are not at the level where you can go and get Keenan Yildiz in all likelihood. Just because you've got the money doesn't mean you've got the attraction.
How did we get Tonali? And I'm not saying Yildiz either. I just said the guy from Everton. There's
Iliman Ndiaye, for what it's worth, output last season was dog shit. Mathys Tel smashed him, and everyone fucking hates Mathys Tel, you especially. So like, I don't like.
So you're saying you'd rather Tel over him?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that Iliman Ndiaye was not that phenomenal. I've got one of my best mates in the game is an Evertonian fan who tells me that he's fucking frustrating. Like he was worked into the ground, a bit like Kudus was in the first half of the season. But if everything is expected to go through someone, he then becomes like a little bit cocky with the amount of pressure on him and the amount of responsibility, and then starts doing the flamboyant stuff that's just unnecessary at times. A little bit like Morgan Gibbs-White detractors will say about him, that sometimes simple things will suffice. And when you're trying to get on the highlight reel all the time, you end up pissing people off. I would welcome Iliman Ndiaye, but I'm not putting you off Iliman Ndiaye at all. He's a very talented player, and I'd take him. Prem proven for sure. I think he's got levels to his game that he hasn't yet reached. But within the realms of reason, like Tottenham are linked with Yan Diamandi tonight, according to Romano, right? And that there's lots of people that are trying to go in there and steal PSG's thunder. He ain't coming to Tottenham. And if you're talking about Antonio Nusa, as much as I was one of the first guys to jump on board the Nusa train 3 years ago, let's be entirely honest, a hell of a lot of players have come from the German league and have flattered to deceive, right? In the Premier League, look at Jamie Gittins. Bino Gittins, right? He went to Chelsea. He sat on the bench the entire year, didn't do a fucking thing. And he was the next big thing out of German football a couple of years ago. So, like, it's a different step up. It's a different set. I'd be happy with Nusa, But I'm not saying that these guys, just because they are doing well in other leagues, that they're immediately going to transition and transfer their skill sets there into a bigger, stronger, faster league.
I never said that either.
Hold on a second, Sean.
I never said that either, that they're going to come in and be a world beater. I'm just saying, for me personally, and I'll ask the question, if our whole squad is fit, does Neto start on that left wing?
We're building a squad.
Yeah, but so we can. This is what I don't get. I don't get why we're spending first team money on a squad. Make your first team better first, and then you build a squad. We've got one game a week. Wait, I'll answer that. We're playing one game a week, and we're going to have Xavi, Kudos, Kulu, Tel, Odegaard, whoever we're on about bringing in. So I'll just say Savio for the numbers. That's 7 with one game a week. What squad? What are we building for?
And hold on, Sean, I have issues. So when I said that Chelsea fans don't rate Neto, you're like, yeah, whatever. And then you say, oh, my Everton friend doesn't rate blah, blah. So come on, let's be consistent, right? Let's be consistent.
Wait, what? Sorry, what's the point?
When I said Chelsea fans don't rate Neto.
Yeah, but I don't know the caliber of the Chelsea fans' opinions
on the YouTube. All the YouTubers who talk about Chelsea. And then you say, "Oh, but my Everton friend, my next door neighbor."
I came onto the show. If you remember, I came onto the show saying I don't know how to feel about this one. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm not someone that's like going to be fucking jumping from the sky that we signed Pedro Neto. The Wolves version of that player, everybody wanted him, right? The Chelsea version of the player, I think he's flattered to deceive. I think he's managed to put his injury problems to some degree behind him. I'm not someone that thinks that we can't do better. I'm just not sure who and where we go to get the obvious thing that unifies the fan base, where everybody goes, like pretty much everybody was on board Fernandes, baller. Pretty much everybody's on board Tonali, apart from Kate thinks that I hate him. Donut.
I mean, you do, but
not anymore. You've Philippe flopped.
Hey, don't do that, Kate. He still hates him.
But I think that with the sort of players that Tottenham are going to attract, like if you think that we're going to sign a number 9, that everybody in world football is going to go, or everyone in the Tottenham fan base is going to go, fucking hell. Like it's not going to happen.
But Sean, the worst thing,
there's no number 9 there, and I think exactly the same thing will emerge with the winger situation. Like we need better than what we have. I'm not sure with regards, like your point, James, about like I don't rate Xabi Simons on the left, so like I don't particularly agree with that stance, right? Like if you give me an option of playing Xabi Simons off the left and I'd rather play 2 10s and change the formation if that was the way it had to be.
Can I try and convince you on that? The only thing I would say is, for me, Xabi Simons will be cutting inside, I believe, and Udogie will be bombing on forward and almost working like a left winger when De Zerbi's in. Again, we're kind of going by what we've seen like last season, right, under Frank and stuff. It's going to be so much different this season, just in the way we play, the way we set up. For me, Porro is going to be back to the first season where he's a right midfielder. Like everyone is going to be so different next season. And the fact, in my opinion, it's a conversation that does he even get into the first team now? I think that's a concern. I saw people saying in the chat about, but what happens when we get into Europe? Well, when you get into Europe, you can then recruit the better players. So it doesn't make sense. For me, if you're going to go out and get your first choice left winger, I think accepting Neto for the sake of getting rid of Romero, for me, accepting Neto for the sake of getting rid of Romero doesn't mean you want Neto. It means you just want to offload Romero, and I'm all game for that. But I don't think we should be kind of just taking handouts because we think it benefits us by getting rid of one of the viruses in the club.
So then, who are the? You said Heung Min die. Who else? Name five players that are realistic winger options that are versatile, or not definitely, but they can be specific left wingers or right wingers.
I flicked off of it now. I can't remember, but there was quite a few right wingers, yeah.
Or no, or left wingers, whatever, whichever one you want. Or, yeah, whilst you're looking, I'll bring in Hugo. You got something to say?
Yeah, the thing that I've made, the point that I've tried to make is, while potentially getting rid of arguably the biggest problem at our club, you bring in a player that is of the caliber of Neto, who, if he were in a standalone market, would be worth at least 50, maybe 70 million. but you bring him in for effectively, you get rid of your biggest problem, and you net spend 20 max, maybe 30. You tell me the caliber of player that you can bring in for 20 to 30 million quid that's anywhere near
it's not
Pedro
20 or 30 million quid. You're just writing off a Sal. Even if we sell him, even if we sell him, to Spain, we sell him to Spain for 30 or 40 million.
Nutter. For 30 million is the max.
And then you add that 20, 30 million you're talking about giving Chelsea. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm really good.
It's not, mate. You're talking about us spending 20 million and giving away Romero. What if we add 20 million and sell him to Spain for 30, 40 million? You get 60 million. It doesn't make sense. You're kind of
You're not going to get a player
of
Neto's quality for 60 million, though, are you?
This would never happen anyways. Deal like this do not happen nowadays.
No, but it would be like the
Vuskovic
deal, like the Vuskovic story with Van Hecker, right? There'll be two separate deals, but
yeah.
And by the way, there's also this narrative popping around. We spoke about it this morning with Kate. There's this narrative popping around that Goldbridge is starting to espouse that shenanigans are afoot within the SCR and the PSR role, but everyone's deliberately amplifying the values and then amortizing the purchases and putting the sales on in certain other metrics. You know, it's quite fascinating to see what will happen.
The reality is that we probably aren't going to do a deal with Chelsea anyway because of all the niggles. So probably like any of the like potential deals that I'm even like suggesting could be a good idea are probably dead in the water before it started. So there you go.
Yeah.
What about Nico Williams?
Just before you cut, he's going to play his whole career in Bilbao, I think. Just 1 second, Hugo. Did you say you've got to go, mate? Yeah,
I've got a bust.
Love you, man. Take care, bro. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Night all. Peace.
Night, Hugo.
Guys, there's still 1,200 people here. Please don't forget to smash the like button. I don't ask very often. Don't forget to check out and sign up to the Spurs Hub. I really appreciate any support, and also OK Jersey 10% off using Sean10. I'm gonna drop Kate's channel link in. Make sure we get Kate. She's on a massive run at the moment. Her channel's flying because she's putting out all sorts of absolute bollocks in the transfer rumor mill that people are leaving. This is why Kate's been so quiet tonight, because she thinks if Neto comes in, then the Gibbs White story's dead on arrival. Kate, what are you saying?
Look, I've made my. I've got my record views. I've got my subs from it. No,
don't mind anymore. Don't mind.
No, I did a bit of rag stalking. That's my sort of rags. So if it doesn't happen, sue me. But I've got to be honest. My head has gone so tight from this conversation. I had a little bit of a headache when I come on. It's now thumping because I can't understand. I can't understand the conversation. James, you're baffling me tonight. You're literally baffling me. Tottenham fans, all they do is moan about building a squad and having quality. And then,
I've never said that. So you're Tottenham fans. You're talking to me. I'm baffling you. Then talk about me.
YouTubers, you don't hear YouTubers every single day saying Tottenham never build a squad.
You can't say, James, you're baffling me. James, you're baffling me. But YouTubers are talking about it every day. You then talk to them about that, not me.
She's talking to me, James. She's talking to me. I said
I'm not talking to you, Eugene. I'm
talking to you. Who are you talking about, Kate?
We want names. We want names, Kate.
When have I ever said about building a squad? I've said I want first team starters to be good players. When have I said about building a squad?
But if you then take out our right winger, surely you want a quality player to come in and take their place.
Yeah, but first of all, I want to get a left winger and a striker before I worry about a position we've already got a player.
Yep. Right, but as I think it was Eugene that said it, sometimes when you get your quality wingers in and these good players, you'll attract a better caliber of striker, knowing that they'll be playing with better players.
So why don't we go and buy the left winger that we want and the striker that we want? Then that's naturally going to create the Tonali's, the Fernandez's, the defenders we've brought in. They're already there. No, why? Well, how is Neto coming in? What top striker is going to go? Yeah, Neto, I'm going Spurs.
You said, why don't we go and buy the striker that we want? Who is the striker that we want?
Well, how can I answer that?
But then, so how can you say, let's go and buy the striker we want, and then we can get the wingers? Because you don't know who it is. Spurs don't seem to know who it is either.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that Spurs don't know. We haven't seen much in the way of obvious.
Exactly. We haven't seen any rumours about
we've seen Savio, right? Everyone has said, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, everyone has said he's our number one target, right? We can agree on that?
Yeah.
So we sign him, yeah, fine. Why are we now being linked with Neto?
because it's on the other side. And they're very similar in how they play, except
So where does can Odegaard and Tel not play there?
But
Odegaard's out injured until probably January, right?
Yeah, but you can't just keep pumping players into positions where they've got injuries, because when they all come back, you're going to have 15 wingers.
Yeah, but Odegaard's shit anyway. So he's probably.
Oh, hey! Don't you go after my youngster. Don't you go after my youngster like that.
The worst thing that we can do is what we've done in the past: spend big money on average players who we won't be able to move for 5 years.
That is 100% my issue. To be honest,
Neto isn't average.
No, but by
it's not going to get that. In my opinion,
it's not a starter for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, Heisenberg. Don't you go after. I love the fact that you boys remember that in the chat. Big up to the chat. I'd forgotten about Heisenberg. He knows what he's cooking. He's got chemistry on his mind. We know what Heisenberg's about.
Yeah, I just feel like whoever it is, right? I've always said, and even at the start of last season, Sean, you said to me, "What about Donnelly? We need a squad." I've always said, "Let's build the first 11 first, and then we can start adding to the back."
We did that with Poch, and the reason we never.
And look where we was on the Poch. We were 17th.
Oh my God, James! But we never got over the line because when a player come off or got injured, there wasn't the quality to bring in their place. It's just
you don't. You can't build the bench before you build the first team. We did everything. One second, let me just answer that. We did everything right under Poch until we come to building the squad. You build the first team first, and then you build the squad. Then you add player. You don't go, well, we've already got 10 wingers. Let's add another one in case we get an injury, playing once a week. Because of what happened to Poch when Poch had injuries. For me, you build your 11, and then if this comes up and no one's taken Romero, and then that opportunity arrives, Neto for me is an opportunity. He's not a signing that I'll go, get me Neto. He's an opportunity.
It's fair enough take. What I would say, though, is are we sort of running before we can walk a little bit? Right, we're trying to go from 17th. What are we realistically trying to achieve next year? Because I've gone out on a limb here and said, like, well, when you consider the variety of other things that are happening around the top teams, like Liverpool, new manager, don't know what's going to happen there, right? And they haven't solved their defensive crisis yet that they didn't fix the season before. Chelsea, financial issues, European problems. They're out of Europe this year, but they still got to get themselves back on shape. Plus, they've got more problems with the effort, the CSR, all that stuff. But yeah, they're making waves regardless. I don't know. They fucking just seem to don't give a fuck about the rules. It's so weird. Fuck it. No, we're just going to drop a British record. And the only team I thought that wasn't going to break an English record this year was Chelsea, and they've gone and done it anyway. But new manager, don't know what's going to happen there. Might work, might won't. Probably won't. United, new manager, struggling in the transfer market. United fans are rattled. They're not getting the players that they want. Aston Villa, the fans are pissed off. They're doing okay, trying to make good of a bad situation. But you don't know that all of those teams have got European football next year. Even City, new manager. Right, the only team that seems settled is Arsenal, and Arsenal fans are pissed off by the fact that they let their number one target go to Chelsea. So, like, there's opportunity to close the gap, but realistically, we're not going to be a title challenger anytime soon. And so, is it completely beyond the realms of thinking that every signing we have to do has to be of the game-changing, needle-moving quality of a Fernandes and of a Tonali? Is it not a building stepping stone process where you bring in a Neto, see how he does? If he doesn't work, maybe whatever, maybe that doesn't work out. But maybe Tel isn't the future. Therefore, you bring one in and you let one go. Like, you kind of move the needle gradually. If you try and do it like this, I know we might have got a little bit greedy and ahead of ourselves because the 3 times we've gone after players this summer that are real needle movers, we've got them all. In fact, 4. You could probably say Senesi, Van Hecke, and the 2 midfielders. But that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to just sit there and go, you know what, we should be reach for the stars, land on the moon. Like, we're going to get Yandy Amandi if we go after him. We won't. So, I don't know. Go on, Eugenia.
Can I give an example? Last season, when we got Gallagher, fans were saying, well, we didn't get anybody else. Gallagher is better than nothing. Let's bring in Gallagher. He's going to help us. So now we're stuck with Gallagher on 200K a week for the next 5 seasons. So it's not just about one season, right? Whoever we bring in will be on high wages for the foreseeable future.
Are we stuck with Gallagher, or is Gallagher a useful member of the squad? I don't think we're stuck with him.
But as you were saying before, it's opportunity cost. 200, again, let's set a baseline. If we all assume that our war chest is not unlimited, there's an opportunity cost. 200K a week for Gallagher, that's a squad space and wages that could be used on a top player. So just bringing in somebody for the sake of it, for a marginal improvement, I would rather bring in a youngster like Mikey Moore to fill that spot as a squad player and go overpay for top talent. I'm okay overpaying for Tonali, Fernandez, Diamande, but overpaying for somebody who's marginally better than who we have. I would rather see Mikey Moore play.
Fair enough.
The youngster.
Just super quick, guys. Super quick. I haven't really been able to keep an eye on the chat because it's been quite a spicy conversation.
They're donuts.
But every time I drop in, there's like a little bit like nastiness going on towards some of the guys on the panel. Like people are giving up their time to have a conversation. They're just opinions, right? Everyone's opinions, and it's what makes good content, by the way, is having spicy chat. Can everyone who's like deciding to be nasty about some, because it was going on about Adam earlier, it's going on about James, Eugene gets it. I mean, for once, I'm getting away with it tonight because I don't know why. Maybe donuts are going to donut. I mean, it'll be my turn tomorrow. I don't mind. I've got a thick skin. It's my channel. I expect it. But like the guests they're giving up their time to create content, and so just be nice, guys. Be nice, right? If you can't be nice, then don't say anything at all. Let me just quickly.
Mads, the comment from Mads has said that if he's now deleted that tweet.
Oh. No, he hasn't. And we wasted 2 hours talking about bollocks. Oh, you fucking fraud, Timothy. You can't delete tweets, mate. Just own your shit. You can't delete tweets.
That's brilliant.
No, wait. Which one's he deleted? He's still there. Hang on. Still there. Which one's he deleted?
Which tweet?
He still says, understand that Tottenham have offered Romero to Chelsea. The player's keen on the move. And then he's reposted. Oh, no, maybe he's reposted Poseidon's, but did the other one go? Oh, it's disappeared. He has. He's deleted it, but he hasn't yet unreposted the one about Pedro Neto. That's bad. You can't be doing that.
Hate in the mud.
That's why I didn't do a video, you see.
Yeah.
Ooh, she knew.
I'm not deleting this video. I'm not deleting this video. Let's have a look at his replies. He must be getting some pelters. For that one. Let's have a look, see.
Wow.
He's a big reason we are desperate to find him a club. Who's that? What's that about? It's been deleted.
I went through Twitter as well, and not one Chelsea fan is under there praising the fact that they're getting that he's negative about him leaving. They're all gladly trying to get rid of him. All of them.
Hang about. Let's have a look. Has Poseidon changed anything his side?
Flowers. We did it. You and I.
As long as they listen to us.
Hey, obviously they're listening to us.
Still no progress on Ellie Jr. Exactly. The chances of a deal have not increased in recent days. Hang about. So Poseidon's put it up, right? Poseidon's put this one up. Spurs Jones put this one up. And he's saying after Timothy reports regarding Neto, but Timothy reports has removed the tweet.
Circular tweeting.
So we have wasted 2 bloody hours. 2 hours.
Fucking come on.
That is fucking hilarious. That's what we're doing here. Look at the numbers in the channel. The channel's numbers is just dropping. Now let's move back to
Butler.
What's that? What'd you say?
Don't you ever call me a fraud for that Morgan Gibbs White video, Butler, after
this
one?
Back, Kate. You're back. You're back on the Gibbs White. There's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance.
Wags no.
That is fucking hilarious. Where's my flip-flop video? Here we go.
We have a flip-flop. Everyone changes their mind like they...
That's fucking hilarious. I can't believe he's changed his mind on it.
That's terrible.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's talk about this. The Will Lankshear story looks like it's done. And by the way, Johnny just mentioned me saying, Johnny messaged me saying Lankshear's definitely gone. He's told players Lewis left. I think Lewis was the under-21s guy. He said Lewis left because Langer is clueless, selling off all the talent to fund the new purchases. What's the point of years of development if he sells them all? He was promoted to transition coach, and there is no transition. I don't know if that's Johnny talking about from his own perspective or from he knows something. But yeah, I'm not a fan of selling Will Lankshear, guys. I'm really not a fan of selling Will Lankshear. I think that Will Lankshear's got something. You know, who's next? Are we going to sell Junai Byfield next week for 8 million? Are we going to sell Williams Barnett? Are they all going to go? And then what are we going to fucking do? You know, we are selling them all. And why the fuck is Dane Scarlett still at the football club? By the way, he's part of the furniture, isn't he?
Because nobody wants him, Sean. Nobody wants him. That's, you know, the good players are wanted by other clubs. Scarlett is trash. With all due respect,
I'm devastated.
Scarlett. But now I see James is he has some hot takes. The chat is gonna go crazy, but I don't disagree. Look, if you look at City, they sell their youngsters all the time to fund purchases. And the way we've been moving, we're adding sell-on clauses and buyback, not buyback, but the right to match. If that's how we're going to approach it, I'm not too fussed about selling youngsters, because you can't have it both ways, right? Like if we need money to buy top players, the academy is there to fund those moves. Obviously, if we sell like Mikey Moore and Byfield, it's going to be an issue. However, 1 out of 100 youngsters make it. So selling him with clauses, I don't mind it.
I don't mind selling like Tynan Thompson. I thought he was just going to leave the football club and just piss off, like for free. But we basically got 4 million and 4 million. 4 million guaranteed, 4 in add-ons, plus 20%, plus the buyback thing, whatever that. I don't think that's real anyway. But and so like on that basis, like I feel like that sort of thing is fine with me, as long as there's a plan to bring in. You know, we've got enough young players anyway. So if he's 18 and we've got 21-year-olds, like there's no difference, is there? But with Will Lankshear, I genuinely thought that he would be someone that could, you know, he scored goals, right? He scored goals. He scored in Galatasaray before he got sent off by understanding the positional play. He scored a good goal from the Vuskovic knock-on in the pre-season last year against Reading. I think there's some, and he scored a lot of goals for where was he? Where was he on loan last season?
Oxford,
yeah. He scored a lot of goals for them in a relegation scrap. So, like, I don't know, selling him to Middlesbrough. What would you take for Will Lankshear? James?
Probably asking the wrong guy.
20 million.
You'd sell him for something. We'd all sell him for some
10 mil?
10 mil, yeah.
If you could get 10 mil, I think that's a really good deal. If you can get a buyback clause and a percentage. Personally, I'm not one that loves all the youngsters. As long as you put buyback clauses and sell-on clauses, I think sell all of them, to be honest. And I say that tongue-in-cheek because you keep players. It's like what we were saying about the Donnellys, the Phillips, the Dorringtons, or whatever his name was. Everyone's going, no, they're going to be the next best thing. They go on loan, flop, and do nothing. Whereas we could have probably got another 20, 30 million where we've gone 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. If you put buyback clauses in, if they become a good player, okay, you've lost an extra 20, 30 million or whatever it may be. There is no downside to me because you're going to loan him out for, say you sell him to Middlesbrough, he has 3 really good seasons, gets him promoted, and then you have a buyback clause. He's played every single minute of every single week, become the player that you want, you just take him back.
Yep.
But I don't see a negative side. And in the meantime, you're getting money in now, allowing us to fund the Tonalis and the Fernandezes and the Savios and the Krupies or whoever you want. It's not a bad thing. It's how big clubs happen. A lot of people go, but what if he becomes out good? If Man City had that opinion, they would have won nothing. They sell all their kids, barring 1 or 2. So
yeah, but they have incredible amounts of money to work with, incredible success. Like they are literally just funding the first team through that whole process.
Yeah,
right?
but so would we, though, right?
But they can always go and attract whoever the fuck they want, right? When Ray and
but only now they couldn't at the start, right? Before the FFP come in, it was cool. They could throw money around. But if you think about the amount of players that they sell young, that become nothing, but they always nick 10 million. And Chelsea are prone to do it. 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. None of them come for it. Then they'll get one that makes it. You go, oh, buy him back then. For me, I think personally, or when little man was at Tottenham, one of the things they said is they should sell one player for about 5 million, come through the youth centre, and then that allows them to fund the next 5-6 years of youth players. So by selling a youth player for 4 million, you've now covered and invested that 4 million back into the youth squad for the next 4 years. Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
If there's a reputation that has emerged that Tottenham has no pathway through to the first team, would you take your son back to Tottenham right now, knowing that there's no chance of him getting into the first team?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Then there's ways around it, right? It depends, because these guys that are on the first team, like Will Lankshear, is on a lot of money, and he's going to be sold for a lot of money and be earning even more money. And I know there's a very the love side of the game, and I'm all for that. But realistically, it's about making a financial career for yourself.
No, but I'm saying, how old's your son?
Just turned 13.
Okay, so what if he can't, because he's still kicking goals, he's still smashing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do you start making decisions with your family, and at what point do you get an agent? At what point does that sort of thing happen? At what age? 15?
15, 16. They have to kind of. There's quite a lot of restrictions because it's class of paying children and stuff.
Okay, but so in that scenario where in a couple of years' time your boy's still one of the best talents, he's at Norwich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would you rather him break through to the first team at Norwich, who are Norwich a championship at the moment, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd rather him just break through there, smash it out of the park, and then get a tap on the shoulder when he's 19 by a Premier League club? Or would you rather him get transitioned back to Tottenham, where your son earns a little bit more money but gets loaned out for the next 2-3 years and then eventually gets sold for 7 million quid down the track?
So it depends, doesn't it? Because they're mega different scenarios. I don't think my son would allow me to let him go back to Tottenham and not play football. He loves football. So I think that would become the main priority. And all of these guys that are leaving, it's easy for us to say don't sell Lankshear, but if he's there saying I want to play, I have to play for Tottenham, or I need to go and build my career somewhere else. There's only so much that Tottenham can offer. It was the same with Vuskovic. There's only so much you can do. That's why, if it's going to get to that point, you put buybacks in, you put sell-on clauses, because that's all you can do. You can't just hold players forever and go, what if?
And I guess also it's there's also the conversation around if your son becomes 18 years old and he's at Tottenham and they think he's good enough to maybe make it, maybe not, but then they start loaning him out to Lincoln or wherever, right? Or loan him out to West Brom, then you've got to say goodbye to your son, or you've got to be driving to the Midlands every fucking Saturday, every day of the week to pick him up to all those sorts of things, right? Rather than you keep him at Norwich and you live in that particular area, you'd rather him stay there so he can be a part of your life and he can also continue his own goals, correct?
Well, I might see it from a different point of view. I think I've said it before. I don't look at my son as playing football professionally, and I don't care. I know that sounds probably stupid. I care that he's having fun. He's a 13-year-old kid and he loves playing football, and that's the most important thing for me, that he's enjoying playing football. And if a club like Tottenham,
I know that now, right? But if suddenly,
if Tottenham come in, I would be the adult in the room, and I'm not saying anyone's not an adult here, but I'd say how many minutes is he going to get? What is he going to get? What is the route? And then I would go home and I would say, look, and I would speak to Norwich and I'd say, right, look, this is what we've been offered. And they would say, no, look, you're guaranteed, this is the route we're putting you on, and we want you here, and here. It's up to you, but you can naturally tell. And I would see the Tottenham, there's a conveyor belt of no one coming in, or no one being given a chance, so I wouldn't let him go there.
Right.
Unless they were winning every week. If they were winning Premier Leagues and stuff, and they go, right, we want your kid. If Man City come in, or Real Madrid, or Bayern Munich, you go, yeah, because if you don't make it there, you're definitely going to be able to drop down to a West Ham.
Okay, so if Real Madrid came knocking for your son in the next 12 months, would you up your life and move to Spain?
I don't know.
Right.
We have had offers abroad before, but it's too much of a
unknown. Yeah.
And I take my hat off to everybody that does do that, but I can't give up my work and have no money, no job, for a hope, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's quite a lot to do.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. But you're sort of answering my question. Kate, we're gonna round off in 5 if you got 5 more minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
I haven't finished these super chats, but you sort of answered my question, James, in that if Tottenham can't provide the pathway, then it sort of makes it more difficult to convince the next crop of talent to come through anyway, because they're going to sit there and say, well, even if I do well at Tottenham, the chances are I'm not going to play for Tottenham. So you're going to end up loaning me out. And as a family, that's going to be problematic if they end up loaning people to, loaning your kids to clubs that are at the other end of the country, or, even more seriously overseas. And so I think there is collateral damage to this approach of just sort of going, fuck it, we'll just sell everybody for a £5.
Which I get.
I think there's an impact there. And I think that needs to be, I'm sure they're thinking about it, but I think that needs to be chewed over, because the whole point of the youth system isn't necessarily to find superstars for your first team. It is to pay for the youth team's continued progression, but also to find occasional superstars that can break through. But it seems like Tottenham have gone from one end to the other, where before we had all these kids and we weren't doing much with them and they didn't break through. And all of a sudden, any of the potential talents are now, if you can just get a few million for them, then fuck it, we'll take the money. But there's you've gone out. It seems like everything at Tottenham has gone from this to this, and in every walk, in every fashion, right? From spending money on big players versus not spending on anyone, and negotiating, paying the offer versus haggling until you're bored and it's painful. And the youth team hanging on to everyone, winning under 21 championships, to now just letting everybody go for whatever offers there. It seems like the guys at Tottenham that are the new iteration of Tottenham, they basically just gone, whatever we were doing, do the opposite now. And I think
you could put that both ways. You could put that both ways, right? If you're going to buy a house and you have a nice car on the drive, you have to fund things to make that house possible, right? You have to sell your car. You have to sell a bit of jewelry. You have to sell the TV that you've got to make the actual bigger project is in buying your home. You have to sell these things around it that are making it capable for you to be able to do what you want to do. And as of right now, Tottenham have finished 17th and 17th. That is the black and white picture. It's 17th and 17th. Something has to change. And I think it already has. But we cannot afford to do that again. Because for me, a third season of finishing bottom half of the table, that does take Tottenham out of the big six. That Tonali will leave. Porro will leave. Van der Ven will leave. They all will go. That's 3 years in a row. That's 3 too many. That is huge. So And look, maybe it's skewed because of how bad we have been. But for me, and this is why I'm so on, improve that first team first. We cannot finish where we have finished for the last 2 seasons. We have to be top 8, top 7, top 6. We have to be there or thereabouts.
I think we would be. I personally think we would be, even if we just improve. Even if it's just slight general improvements if we go and get us a 9 that can actually put the ball in the back of the net and can stay as a 9, a target man, and just be a participant in the game a little bit more and be in the box at the end of the moves with Savinho, and even if it was a Pedro Neto, and then you go and get a 9, whoever that is, Krupi, if you could do it, or someone else, I still scratching my fucking head. I look at data all day long, and I genuinely don't know where we go for the 9. I think we fucked up massively by letting Gonçalo Ramos go. But if you can solve for that, I think Tottenham can make a serious shift into the Champions League spots next year, and then hopefully you go again. I do take Eugene's point though about, if you are signing someone on a 6-year deal, even if it doesn't work out, you are lumbered with them. I don't necessarily agree though that Conor Gallagher, we're stuck with him, because I don't think he's a bad player. Let me just get these super chats done, guys, and then I'll round off, and I'll give Kate a chance to plug all of her kind of wag tails, we're going to call it from now. We're tailing the wagging the tail. Adam Gill says, are we forgetting we've been 17th 2 seasons? Can't be overly picky just because we convinced Tonali to come. Neto is still an upgrade on who we have. I'm with you on that one, 100%, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat. We have sort of smashed that conversation to pieces, though. I appreciate your generosity, mate, in the super chat. Daniel Fields put in a super sticker. I'm glad this one popped through, Danny boy. Thank you so much, mate. Choo-choo to you, bro. I think that might be the first super sticker of the evening. So even though it's late and we're finishing, I've still got to just do it because I'm OCD. If I don't, something bad will happen. Choo-choo to you, bro. Choo-choo to you. Is anyone else OCD about that sort of stuff? I've got so many weird things where when I close my door, I have to twist my handle 3 times. Otherwise, I think I'm going to get in a car crash. It's very, very, I'm really weird. Very, very weird person.
That's the Magnums, mate. That's not.
No, the Magnum's just turned me into a fucking argumentative lunatic. The Magnum's really messed me up. I'm back on the vodkas and Diet Cokes tonight. I feel like I'm in a better mood about it. I think the Magnums might have to be sunset. Big up to you, Danny boy. Appreciate you very much. Robbie Brown says, if Neto's for the right, what does that say for Kulu? Fuck, we didn't even mention that. Quick one on that one, guys. Quick round table. Kate, if we do, obviously we now know the Neto story is probably dead because the guy who put it out there has retracted it. But if Tottenham do go and get a right winger, if not Neto, then someone else. If we do that, does that actually bring any part of the conversation that maybe Kulusevski is nowhere near fit? Or
I don't like Pedro on the wing anyway. I can't stand him on the wing, so that suits me if he's never ever anywhere near a wing again, unless he's in KFC, of course.
Fair enough. Eugene, as a right, is there any concern about Kulusevski? The fact that we're looking for potential right wingers, is that a sign that maybe Decky's nothing to see?
I mean, I think even before, I just didn't think he fit what he wanted to do even healthy. He has no pace, and he's not pacey enough to be a winger, and he's not really a midfielder. I love the guy, but he just doesn't fit. So I think we should not be counting on him.
Would you loan him? He's a foreign player, right? I don't think you can sell him. I think you'd be able to sell him or get no money for him. But would you potentially loan him out and then let him go somewhere else for a season to see if he can get fit and get back to full fitness rather than doing it on our dime?
Yeah. If somebody wants him, I think that's a good shout. I'd do it for sure.
Jimbo?
I'd sell him.
Yeah, if you can sell him, but if you can't sell him because of his injury problems, would you loan him for a year so you get one of those non-homegrown numbers off the books and then you see
if that's the only thing you could do, then yeah. But personally, I don't think he's a winger or a midfielder. Reason I say that, I think he's too slow to be a winger, and I think that he's too slow on the ball to be a midfielder.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, what's that? My gift Orban is off to Turkey. You might bump into each other. Say, listen, Turkey don't fuck around, man. They know quality when they see it. I wish you lot in the chat, right? You've given everybody else a hard time tonight. Butler's avoided it, and I'm grateful. But generally speaking, I get people in the comments going, why would I listen to Butler's take, right? He wanted Santiago Jimenez. He wanted Gift Orban. He wanted, you don't remember that I was the first person that was talking about Jan Diomande long before he emerged, right? You don't remember I was talking about Antonio Nusa 3-4 years ago. You don't remember the Skov Olsen bollocks, right? You don't remember these players that I bring to your attention before they hit. All you do is ram it down my throat that Gift Orban, who, by the way, went over to Verona, Hellas Verona, a relegation battle, and he scored 9 goals in Serie A last season. Not too bad. And as I said yesterday, Santiago Jimenez, if he's good enough for AC Milan, he was good enough for me.
What are we doing here?
We remember Kolo Muani.
Listen, it was Johnny that was mad about Kolo Muani.
Yeah, you told me you'd buy him for 50 million at the start of the season.
I said I'd buy him for 40, I think I said. 40.
That's just as bad, mate.
No, but you could, if you bought him for 40, in this market, you'd be able to sell him for 65. Come on now, I'm turning a profit.
65 quid.
Staff merchants were telling me that he was scoring goals in the Pizza League. And man is the same. It's like, oh, but he has, per 90 and per 5, per 7, all this nonsense.
The Pizza League. I fucking love that. The Pizza League. The Pasta League. Josh Smith says, we need a squad because we had terrible injuries. Hey, this a league. Yeah, exactly. The injury crisis isn't going to go away until the medical team's fixed, and that's a long-term thing. Big up to you, Josh. Thank you very much. And Treve Lello says, we've just heard that Spurs have bought the Villa warehouse to put our paintings in. Bloody villains, yeah. That fucking Villa warehouse. I can't believe Aston Villa fans would actually have the audacity to sit there and moan about shenanigans when they are the sort of people that buy their own fucking warehouse from themselves and turn themselves a £40 million profit in a couple of months. Unbelievable chicanery. Listen, guys, do me a favour before everyone goes. There's still 1,000 people here. We love to see it. Appreciate all of your support for the whole evening. There is the girl. How many subs are you on now, Kate?
Oh, 3,150 odd.
You've got 150 subs in like a week.
I know. That's the WAG. It's the WAG hub. It is the WAG hub. that has done it. I'm going to be launching my own WAG hub before long, where you can follow the WAGs with me and get all the gossip, whether it be true or not.
I won't fucking be on there. I can tell you that now.
Yes, Jim.
But
you know what? You actually, if you could set up, go and learn a bit of AI, Kate, you could probably go and get some scraper tool that could go and figure out all of the women's Instagram accounts of all of the players around Europe, and then just feed it all in and make it be analysed and died. You could come up. You could be your own ITK, the WAG TK, we'll call it.
The WAG TK. So yeah, it's amazing. But a lot of it was down to you as well, Shawnee, for pushing us over the 3,000. So Jim got his birthday treat as well. So that started the ball rolling, and then it's rolled on. So yeah, but we're doing
the ball rolling, or was it the ball emptying? I don't know.
Yeah. We're doing a pre-match thing on Wednesday before you doing a watch along, I believe, Shawnee.
Yeah, I'm doing a watch along on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday 4 o'clock.
Is it on the Spurs play?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will do the preview, and then I shall redirect over to you, Shawnee. But tomorrow, tomorrow we're not around because we're going to watch Odyssey. Even though I'm not supposed to say that because Sean's sick of it. Sick of hearing about it, but we
I am sick of hearing about it. Read the bloody book. Read the bloody book, you lot, you kids out there, right? Don't forget that reading is actually good for the brain, good for the mental health, you know? And read the story, interpret it in your own way. Don't let some donut in Hollywood tell you what it's supposed to mean. It's a very important story, okay? It's a very important story. Don't let those donuts corrupt your understanding of history, people. Not worth it. You know? Eugene, you understand what I'm saying, don't you, mate?
Hey, of course.
No idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the views of Sean do not represent the views of his guests.
Exactly.
But
we have a bomber from Tottenham Talk, whatever that is.
Wait, what?
We got a bomber?
Apparently.
Oh, let's go find out what Tottenham Talk bomber. What's this? Let's have a look.
They're probably like 13-year-olds sitting in their bedrooms going, let's get that Sean going again. Now Timothy's deleted his
One
tweet.
more hour. What's the how do I say it? How do I spell it? It's not just Tottenham Talk, is it? What is it?
So it says on here, Tottenham Talk, it says.
Well, there's something called Tottenham Talk, and they haven't posted since 2013.
Which mid-winger are we linked in now?
What's that? What's the link?
I don't know the link, but I'm assuming it's some other average.
At this rate, I'll take a mid-winger, the ones we brought in.
Just like...
How do I find... What's Tottenham Talk? Talk to me, people.
Oh, is that Johnny?
No, he's talking Tottenham. Is it worth it, or should we just end? Someone give me something. Give me something to fucking work with here, you donuts.
I'm reading the chat, mate, but nothing's saying it.
Tottenham.
Oh, the chat, they give us fake bombas, but they cannot find this one. Come on, somebody.
Come on, the chat.
I can't find anything.
I was talking Tottenham Talk. Dimandi is still very interested in a move to Tottenham. Young Diomandi. If that guy can't, by the way, if he comes to Tottenham, all bets are off. Butler's going to do some unspeakable things on camera and off camera. Okay, it will be ta-ta-ta.
I only saw him in the World Cup, and he was terrible in the World Cup.
He was okay. He wasn't
too bad. He was average, man. The way people were talking about 100 million, I thought, let's have a little look at this guy.
Yandy, mate, he's a ball.
I haven't seen him. But...
Oh, you haven't seen him?
No, only the World Cup. That's what I mean. Only the World Cup. I'll put the World Cup on to have a look, and he weren't great.
He's dynamic. He's dynamic.
I wouldn't put the world through seeing Butler naked. The brasses have a hard enough time looking at me in the eyes after leaving. Hello? It's a transaction. It's not love. Let's be honest. What way to finish. All right, we're gonna go. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you to James. Thank you to Eugene. Thanks to Kate. Please get over and let me put the link in again for Kate. Just if you haven't done it, please do it. Please get over there and smash the like and the love and the subscribe. And thank you to who else came on? Adam came on throwing haymakers, and Hugo. Up to you, boys. Appreciate you, lads and ladies. Thanks, everyone. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, bye-bye.